back. Welcome back to Tabletop Notch. Hey, everybody, thanks for joining us. Beezaura is not with us today. We will be having a guest step in. Mystery guest.
Happy New Year, Leah, if you're watching.
Oh, yeah.
Happy New Year.
Leah. Does anybody have any thoughts, notes, shout-outs before we dive in?
Shout out to the giant who's falling dead.
You know what? You don't need to throw shade yet.
Real friendly, just looking for food. You know.
Good food.
Good food, not bad food.
I don't know. He was also interested in the bad
food. How bad is this food?
I'll
really
be the
bad.
Judge of that.
3 old calamari?
Small Goliath.
Ooh.
All right, we're gonna roll that intro.
Yeah.
And we'll dive into it.
Let's go.
Here we go.
See you in a bit.
Boom, boom.
Yes. And we're back. In Chapter 16, Marsh Realities. Got already sucked in. Erland cautiously accepted Blom's cryptic invitation to join him on the second floor patio, which hosted a variety of unusual plants. He believed Erland suffered from a rare biological condition that threatened to shorten his lifespan, but also had the potential to grant him certain nature-based abilities, if he could learn to control it. The training commenced right then and there in the dark of the night, and Blom pulled no punches in his effort to agitate Erland's body into a state of malleability so it could adapt to the new organic powers. With the weight of these revelations and flashes of past memories swirling in his mind, Erland persisted as long as he could until unconsciousness took him. The morning came, and Orba was the first of the party to rise, taking a moment to consult her gods before heading downstairs for breakfast, where Jillian took advantage of a moment of privacy to ask about the wizard's motivations going forward. Orba was guarded about any meaningful details, and while Jillian did not press the issue for now, she warned Orba that if they couldn't come to an understanding before they reached Mukmu, the lakeside city would be their last stop as part of the same team. As the rest of the group descended into the sitting room, we enjoyed a few moments of relative peace before a quiet popping noise came from the outside, catching our attention. Blom brushed it off as an animal that had wandered onto his property and set off one of his explosive runes that he kept around the perimeter of his yard. But Safira and Graven weren't taking any chances. They rushed to the balcony where Graven was able to identify a number of scattered bones and rustling grass that signaled the possibility of additional intruders. Blom sounded the alarm, arming Jillian with a crossbow and stationing the ranged combatants on the second floor, while Beezaura and Graven held the lines at the front door. Unseen by the rest of the party, Blom also woke Erland from his unconsciousness with a healing potion, having dragged him to his room the night before following their training session. Waves of undead enemies hurled themselves at the Halfling's home, while we bombarded them from the upper levels. But it seemed that every time we felled a skeletal foe, a more powerful adversary came storming through the reeds to resume the assault.
Yeah.
And with the threat growing and our injuries mounting, Blom called for us to take the carriage and flee, demanding that Jillian free his brother if she ever make it back to Oranjupal, where he was locked up. Blom focused his powers to take control of the earth beneath the house, sweeping portions of his residence across the battlefield to block invading forces from advancing further. Beezaura readied the horses, and Erland swung Safira up onto the carriage as it pulled away as fast as possible onto the back road. A pair of wights continued pursuit, but Safira's archery expertise allowed us to dispatch them before they could run us down. Catching our breath for a moment, Graven tended to the wounded with his healing magic, and we came upon an expansive road made of thick wooden planks. We'd been informed that this boardwalk was constructed many, many years ago as a way to cover up an excavation site that had flooded and made the terrain impossible to traverse. But the route held strong, and we pressed forward. Another obstacle presented itself, however, when a napping hill giant woke up to find us noisily making our way along. And though Jillian enlisted Beezaura to quickly relocate our horses to avoid spooking the dim-witted creature, its curiosity led it to wander in our direction. Graven, a native speaker of the giant language, attempted to turn its attention elsewhere. But Orba's uncooperative tail and a few poorly chosen words drove the hill giant into a frenzy, stomping its feet until the boardwalk gave way and the party went crashing through to the depths below. Orba managed to quickly cast the Featherfall spell, slowing our descent, but there was nothing that Jillian and Beezaura could do to keep us from tumbling down to this abandoned dig site. Rushing back to the horses, they made plans to circle around and attempt to access the area from a safer vantage point, leaving the rest of us to fend for ourselves. What were we likely to find at the bottom of this long-forgotten chasm? Would Beezaura and Jillian be able to find a way down that didn't involve taking the plunge? And does a hill giant know how to thank you for saving its life? We find out now on Chapter 17 of A Peek Beneath the Veil. As Graven spins in this sort of slow free fall, his glowing shield that he lit up to sort of create a light, it whirls around and it has this kind of siren almost beam effect as it catches the surrounding walls of this man-made ravine. And you catch glimpses in the flashes as you see it go by, wooden beams, ropes, sort of multi-tiered scaffolding that's been extending further and further down. And a rush of air kind of blows by you as the carriage, no longer held onto by the giant, it plummets rapidly down, and you see Erland sort of tumble out the top side of the carriage as it plummets down. Splintered pieces, some of your belongings kind of tumbling out. You see some like arrows go flying, a few pieces of rations kind of tumbling out of the carriage as it's moving by. And after a few seconds, as you're falling, you hear the crunching impact of the carriage against a hard surface kind of below you.
A few seconds.
You continue to fall. 50 feet, 100 feet, 150 feet. Mostly quiet, except for the sounds of the hill giant occasionally making a panicked moan as he sort of tumbles. And he occasionally reaches out as he's sort of attempting to grab the walls, and a couple times his fingers reach out and they sort of grab the edges and and sort of some dirt and wood splinters kind of go flying as he tries to get a grip, but he can't grab anything on the sides of the walls. And a couple more seconds.
Is the scaffolding go all the way down?
So far that you can tell, yes.
Am I close enough to it that I could potentially grab it?
No.
Okay.
You're tumbling pretty far in the middle. It's a fairly big opening that you've tumbled into. And after a couple more seconds, the bottom becomes visible. Sort of smooth, almost polished stone surface that reflects the light of Graven's shield. You see kind of flashes of it come up every time Graven spins around and the light of the shield hits it. It has kind of a reflection. And it illuminates the area. And as you get close, it reveals the kind of wreckage of the wagon and your supplies that have kind of hit and splattered along the floor. And you guys tumble a little further, and eventually touch down. And as the spell sort of orients you at the last moment, you are able to land on your feet. And there's a little bit of impact, but you land safely at the bottom.
Where's the hill
With
giant?
the giant?
The hill giant is about 30 feet away from you.
Is he like looking at us, coming towards us?
He's sort of looking around, sort of confused at what just transpired. He's kind of trying to orient himself, and he puts his hand on the ground and kind of holds himself up. And he's looking around, and it's, if not for the light on your shield, it would be very, very dark.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks over, and it's clearly looking at the shield, and it starts to take a couple steps towards you.
I'm gonna dispel the light for a second.
And as you do, it goes into total darkness. So everyone except for Graven has dark vision, so you guys can kind of see here.
You're the only.
Is Graven near me?
Yeah, you guys.
But I can tell I know exactly where the giant is.
You knew where he was. Yep.
Yeah.
If Graven's near enough to me, I just want to like put my hand on his back so he knows,
Sure.
and I'm just gonna say, Erland, it's Erland. Okay.
And you can hear kind of a.
I'm going to try to talk to him again. Okay.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Run away.
Look, if we climb to it. Oh, for fuck's sake.
And you can hear a little bit of like scuffling as it sounds like he's moving around, a little bit of thumping.
So, in giant. Friend.
And
Big giant.
yes.
This little giant. I'm very sorry to have lied.
And you guys can see this. He can't, but he's sort of like looking for where the voice is coming. There's a little echoey in here in this sort of hole.
Can I like put my? Am I close enough to him to
Sure,
touch
you
him?
guys have gotten close.
You're frightening him. He doesn't know where you're coming from. He's going to want to see you.
Little giant and his friends want to help.
No, you made me fall. And he starts to sort of walk in the direction of the voice that he kind of thinks it's coming
Is
from.
there a stone near me?
Sure, like a hard stone.
Just a small, small
sure.
stone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick it up
Yep.
and just hold it for a second
Okay.
here.
And he takes a couple slow steps forward, kind of. You made me fall.
We made you fall safely.
No, not safe.
Are you hurt?
No.
You would have been if not for us.
If not for you, I'd be up there. And he takes a couple more steps forward as the voice.
We want to help.
He's probably getting within 30 feet, 25 feet.
I'm gonna throw the stone to like the opposite side of where he
Sure.
is.
Yeah. You go. And he kind of. And he turns and he starts to walk in the direction of the stone.
Should we just try to get away from him?
Can I look around and see if there's anything that we can climb up
Yeah.
on the walls?
Make an investigation check.
While she's doing that, can I like quietly? Oh boy, nice.
Can you? Sorry.
See if I can like get anything from our carriage. Any like?
Yeah, I mean, you can. You have dark vision. You can
Yeah.
sort of gather up some of the things that have
Why?
spilled out of it. Yeah. Everything's there. Did anybody have anything breakable?
Like not on our person, but in the carriage.
Yeah. If not, most of the
in
stuff's
the
still
carriage.
intact.
So is the
yeah.
ram?
Yeah, the ram's
For your
intact.
sake?
What do you mean by break? Like
A
if we
potion
had,
bottle that you didn't have on you.
I mean,
but like what would
Should've
not be
been
on
on our
us? Like
backpacks,
something
right?
like
Yeah,
this stuff was in our bag, right?
Yes. So if you had put something in the carriage, I
don't
don't
think we
think.
I think the only thing explicitly in the carriage was the
The
ram.
ram.
Okay, great. Yeah, so the ram's a little dinged up, but it's
Orba
intact.
picks up the ram and turns to Erland in like a victory pose.
And you can see her big gnome.
It's very heavy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 30 pounds or something, 25, 30 pounds.
Jesus.
Whoa.
So while you were looking around, you
Yeah.
said 20 on your investigation?
Yes, yes.
Great.
yes.
So you look around and with your vision, you have, I think it's 60 feet dark vision, and you can't see the walls anywhere. This hole seems very big, other than the wall sort of one close to where the giant was sort of scraping his hands along as he fell, but it extends outward, so the hole looks like it started maybe this big and got bigger, so it's like you're in a fairly large area that you can't necessarily see the perimeter of.
Can we orient? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And in addition to that, you're sort of looking around and you notice, covered by some of the sort of dirt from the falling in the carriage and the debris, you kind of brush it away and you see a few symbols on the ground.
What kind of symbols?
These kinds of symbols.
Lots
Come on, oh boy.
what the? That's fun.
What are the?
So those are the symbols that you see, and in addition to that,
That whole thing. We see that whole thing.
Saphira can see this right now.
Yeah,
You can
right.
see shit. You recognize these symbols. What? These are primordial numbers, the language primordial.
Okay.
You don't speak primordial,
No.
but your old friend, Wachi Faro, who you trained under,
Yeah.
he had a series of sort of yoga and martial arts poses that before your training he would have you go through.
Okay.
And each of them had a number associated with them. He had a friend a long time ago that was an elemental, a Genasi, a descendant of genies, and he taught them these sort of, they teach you balance and discipline. You sort of
Yeah,
go through,
sure.
every time you're doing hand-to-hand combat, you would go through these poses as sort of warm-up. So you know these. Anthony, let me hand this past. These were the poses and the numbers of these different sort of training exercises that you would go through.
Okay. And aside from that, would these numbers being in this space mean anything specifically to me? Like, is this something
Somebody
that I
who
saw
maybe
in,
knows
like,
Primordial wrote it there, or carved. It's carved into the sort of stone surface.
So aside from the obvious, you're not going to tell me.
What else would you like to know? You want me to tell you who put it there?
Yeah. Whose handwriting is it?
Is it Jillian's?
Yeah.
Okay.
How far away is he? I can't see. Can you see?
And he's kind of like, he's generally in the vicinity of where you threw the stone, and he's kind of like touching around.
Somebody hand me a small rock that I could throw very far. I could light it up and throw it very far. Hand me something I can't see.
There's rocks and pieces of debris, some of the pieces of the carriage, yeah.
Okay, great. I'm gonna pick up something that's like not that big, just because I don't want it to like emit too much light.
There's like a wheel spoke that broke off the
great.
carriage.
So I'm gonna pick that
sort of
up,
cylindrical,
like,
in
pass it
shape.
to Graven. Okay.
Make sure you throw it in the direction.
And I'm gonna actually like aim
Orient
Graven.
him, yeah.
I'm gonna aim him. So where do you want to throw it?
Opposite of where we are going. Opposite
Where
of where
are we
we're
going?
We're gonna follow the. Can we orient ourselves and know which direction we were heading before the carriage started to fall?
Sure, yeah.
Like, I would imagine if we looked up, we could see the light.
Yeah,
so,
you'd have a general
and we'd be
idea
like,
of the
okay, we're
direction you
going
were
this
headed.
way.
Yeah.
Is there like so in this sort of open space that we're now in, is there like a singular path going in a specific direction, or is it kind of truly just open?
As far as you can tell, just open.
Just scaffold.
On one side, you can see the scaffolding. You can't see the other side because they have limited dark vision in this sort of pitch black dark.
So we should move to the other side.
I don't know what side we're on. Is the giant in the way of the direction we want to go right now, or is it now behind?
If the way you want to go is the same direction that you were headed, no, he's behind.
Oh, okay, yeah, so we're good. So keep throwing it farther.
Okay.
All your might.
All right. And I'll light up. Aim me.
And sort of aim him
Sure.
to where Orba said.
And I'll imbue it with light.
Great.
Throw it as far as I can.
And make an athletics
Yes,
check.
You got this, buddy. Let's go.
10.
10. Okay, you give it a good toss, and it sort of goes off into the distance, and immediately it catches the giant's attention. I mean, the light sort of really lights up the room, given how dark it is, and it sort of, and you see the orb kind of tumble over a couple, and you catch his attention. He sort of starts to lumber in that direction.
All right.
And as you toss the object, you also notice that some of the light reflects off of the symbols, and the symbols start to light up a little bit. They sort of, they catch some of the light and glow a little bit, and then as the light sort of moves away, it dims again.
Now I've seen them.
You can see the letters now.
Do I recognize them?
No.
Cool. What is that?
It's a sequence of numbers. It's a language I don't understand, Primordial, but I recognize it. One of my teachers, he taught us poses.
Did those poses
Exercises.
involve speaking? That seems to suggest that one ought to speak those for symbols.
We don't know what's going to happen if I do that. Do we want to light up the entire room? We're in a dark cave. What do you want me to do?
Speak the four symbols.
That seems to be a plan with absolutely no downside.
As far as we know.
And the giant has kind of gotten to the object, and he's picked it up, and he's kind of examining it.
As far as we know, this is an excavation site, not some sort of nefarious. But it's not like a nefarious dungeon.
Yes, Blom didn't seem to be too alarmed by its presence, so maybe try it.
I don't know which language to speak. I think this is English.
Yeah,
right?
that's just to tell you which
So-
numbers. You would be speaking the
Obviously,
primordial
yeah.
numbers.
Okay. So I'm gonna kind of like stand there and read the thing and go, proc. Hang on, I have to rack my head. Log. Not sure about that one.
Pulling out my quarterstaff at the ready.
Ghoul.
And as she speaks the letters and the numbers, the symbols light with a greenish kind of light, a little different than the light when the light first reflected off of it.
Okay, I'm really not sure I like this.
Is this?
And it starts to glow a little brighter, and now the greenish light, kind of different from a natural kind of light, catches the giant's attention a little bit, and kind of And he can see you now because you're standing near the light. It kind of is illuminating you a bit, and he starts to walk in your direction.
That's the only thing that's lit up. Nothing else around us.
Yep, that's all that's lit up.
We need to get away from these symbols. He's
And the
coming
light
back.
sort of, a little bit of mist kind of coming out of the light. It seems to kind of wash over you.
Can we? I want to get away from
Can
this.
we
Move away from
with
this.
Gravens to lead him so he doesn't trip?
Well, I can see a little bit now, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
okay.
light coming out, and your object is still lit over there. So there's a couple sources of light that are bouncing around. It's a little shadowy, but you can see. Yeah.
Let's get away from this.
Can Orba get a little distracted and like reach out to the mist? Is it
Sure.
like touching her yet?
What are you doing?
And you can feel it's kind of washing it. It doesn't feel like anything. And as it kind of gets into your general space, the ground below you starts to have a dull kind of milky glow. It has this kind of almost opal quality to it. It has this kind of translucent white. And as you look, it seems to be getting more and more translucent. The ground underneath you, the whole sort of shining floor.
Look, I have a terrible
look at
feeling that
this.
we're about to have the ground literally disappear from underneath our feet, so I think we might need to get to a wall immediately.
Sure. Can we climb this scaffolding?
Can we see the scaffolding now?
At one side of it, yeah.
Great, I want to run
Yeah.
to the
I'm
scaffolding
taking
Sure.
off after.
and just get a hand on it in case the ground
Yeah,
disappears.
you guys run over to the end, and the hill giant, he walks over to right to where the sort of letters are, and he looks at it, and he starts to like touch it a little bit as the light is kind of washing over him. And the ground gets more and more transparent until you can see through it.
Wait, what do we see underneath?
You see down into sort of a bare, well-lit room that appears very unfurnished at all. There's nothing in it. The only figure that you can make out is the outline of a person.
So it's like a man-made room, like a.
It looks like almost like a very large. It's circular. It's a very large sort of lit room with nothing in it.
How far below where our floor is?
To the next
room's
floor?
Yeah.
10 feet.
Is the person moving? Are they
Right
standing?
now sitting.
They're sitting.
And so the floor still exists. It's just
It has
transparent.
been. It's completely, almost completely transparent.
Does
at
And
this point.
is that person regarding what's above him in any way?
No.
Does there seem to be any sort of
It's a secret.
entry? Can we see what he's doing? The guy
Sitting.
just
not doing
staring at the
anything.
wall.
Hanging out.
Yep.
Does he seem to be alive?
Make a
Like,
perception.
is he
check.
breathing?
Make a perception.
Is
You've run over to the wall, so
Nat
a little
20.
bit, seems to be, he does seem to be breathing. He seems to be moving a little bit, like he shifts slightly a couple times.
And he's not looking up in
Not
any way.
looking up in any way at all.
Seems to be human.
Yeah, it looks
and
human.
I want to look at the giant. What is the giant doing? Does the giant react to this?
Yeah,
Does
he's
he
sort of
have-
looking through the floor now at this point, and it's very well lit now. It's coming up from underneath the light of the room, and he's sort of looking down into it, and he sort of puts a big hand down on the transparent floor and kind of, and he pushes on it a few times. It doesn't give at all. Seems to be a little confused.
Does the ground still seem to be the same, consistency is the wrong word, but like if it was like a
It
rock
feels
ground
the
before,
same.
it still feels
Feels
the
the
same.
same,
Okay.
yes.
Is there a place, does there seem to be like an access point?
Make another perception check.
Nah, that's not as fun. 13.
13. It seems like the ground might be thinning a little bit near where the symbols are, and now where the
Like continuing to thin?
Yeah, it looks like it might like as first it was like looking through a thick piece of glass, like a little distorted the image.
Okay.
Now it looks like it's getting clearer.
Is the
and
giant
clearer.
directly on top of the symbol and directly on top of the guy?
Directly on top of the symbols? He's pretty close, not directly on top of the guy.
So if he were to fall, the
He
guy's
would not
gonna
fall
get
on
crushed.
top of the guy. The guy's a little closer to where the pieces of your carriage are.
I
Okay.
think it's time to throw another thing.
No, everyone hang on to something.
But we
The
don't
ground
want
is thinning.
but we
Hang
don't-
on
but
to
we
the
don't want
scaffolding.
we don't want the giant to fall through too.
Is there
So
any
much
place
light.
that's
He's not going
not?
to get distracted. There's a person under him.
Is
That's
there-
not what.
That's not transparent at this moment. Like,
Is there any
like
part of the
is,
floor?
is there like is this like just a chunk of the floor? And if you were
No,
to go
it's
further,
as far. No, you've gotten all the way to the wall, and it's still the same underneath you.
okay.
So it seems like it extends out all the way to the walls, and there's stuff to grab onto in the walls, but it's not sturdy. I mean,
The scaffolding isn't. So now that it's light enough, can we see that we're just in one big room without anywhere to go?
yeah, looks like a big circular room with nowhere to go.
Can
What does this look like to you?
what? Sorry, go ahead.
No.
To say your thing.
Does it look like he's here of his own volition? Or is this some kind of a strange prison cell we've just walked into?
Pretty relaxed.
Yes, I think there's only one way to find out. And Orba casts thaumaturgy so that her voice, she's gonna have like a giggle, but it occurs like on the other side of the space, like away from the troll.
I didn't know you could do that.
The other side of your through the ground, or still on
Up
your
on
side?
our level,
Got it.
the range is 30 feet, so 30 feet away from the troll, just to get him to scoot. Yeah, some giggles.
Yeah, and the troll regards it, and he seems fairly, whatever the most recent thing distracting him, he seems sort of attentive to it, so he hears that, and he kind of shuffles quickly in that direction.
Do you want to go down?
Look, I think down might be the only way back up.
The ground is thinning.
Yeah.
I don't think we have much choice in the matter.
Let's go down.
It's
you
gonna
want to get
disappear.
closer to that person?
Oh, I don't know. It's better than being with this thing.
Is it only thinning in that one particular part?
It seems like it's spread. It started there, and it's.
If we go down, maybe we can have them stop whatever's happening, and we could just seal the giant upstairs.
If we fall 10 feet right now, would be like we take damage from that, right? And that's
Probably an acrobatics
Whoa.
check. Maybe.
Whoa.
Probably not.
I
I
think
mean, we'd also probably be ready for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a discussion about what we want to do.
I know.
It seems like
You
we're
seem-
just going to
You
fall.
seem very trusting of this
Okay.
mystery ground person,
And-
but all right.
I
a little
don't.
closer.
What other? Do you want to? What do you want to try and climb up this?
No, but
And it continues to.
Because our two choices are climb or
kind
fall.
of
Alright,
walk-
let's get
start,
closer to it,
like
fine.
jogging over to the area where it's thinning the
Sure,
most. I'm
yeah.
gonna stand
Let's
on
stay
Started
together.
there where
We'll stay
the
together.
candles
We'll
were,
follow.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
fine.
stand on the
Yeah.
symbols.
You guys make your way, and as you do that,
Nah, I'm
you're
standing by the edge. I'm not doing what you guys are doing.
all right, well,
I'm standing by the
Stay
scaffold.
together.
My bad.
as you guys move to that point, the hill giant kind of seeing the motion, kind of sees you, and starts to walk slowly back in your direction. Although sort of the ground is giving him a little bit of pause, and you hear as the ground gets very, 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 very thin, sort of a low, gravelly voice. Imposters. And the ground slides all the way open, and the party drops below. Dexterity saving throws for everybody.
There's nothing for me to hold on to as the thing.
It kind of, you grab and the loose earth, you kind of fall through to it.
Dexterity?
Yeah, dexterity saving throws.
12.
18.
6.
3. So the two of you take 1d4, 1d4 bludgeoning damage. 2 bludgeoning damage. So you guys drop through and you can hear there's sort of a cacophony of noise as all of the carriage parts are all falling through and the giant kind of and it kind of hits the ground and it rattles a little bit. And as the ground sort of retracts in an instant and you hit the ground, just as quickly as it opened up, the translucent, transparent surface closes back up above you. And as it does, it looks like stone. Like it doesn't, from underneath, it did not look like sort of a transparent, sort of see-through surface. And you hear sort of a squishing noise.
Oh no.
And you look over,
The giant.
and the giant sort of
No.
slumps to the side, and it looks like his head was caught up at the top portion.
I should have just let them be crushed.
And over on one knee, sort of with a hand up guarding his face from the falling wreckage, you see a person, human in shape, sort of hairless, dark gray, almost black skin. And he lowers his arm to sort of take a look. And you see a pair of emerald green eyes staring back at you as he starts to stand. And that's where we'll bring our guest.
Yes, hello.
Hello, I dropped my thing.
You got it. Here.
Thank you.
I won't look at it.
Okay,
Don't look
So
at it.
excited, so excited.
Okay. Welcome to the table.
Who are you?
We're sorry. We didn't mean to.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank
What do you
God,
mean,
what?
thank God?
Are you okay? Are you trapped in here?
Yes. I'm terribly sorry. Yes, I am.
Brilliant.
I have been. You're here to rescue me, yes?
Incidentally, no, but I'm sure on our way back out, we won't mind.
How did you? Do you know how you did that?
Orba points to Safira.
Yeah, I mean, Kind of. I spoke the symbols on the...
No. You shouldn't have done that.
What do you mean I shouldn't have done that?
Well, that's what I did.
How long have you been down here?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know. Time.
Months?
I'm terribly sorry. Some time has passed. I don't know.
Some time has passed.
Yes.
Who are you?
My name is Shaleer Olavinus. I am property of King Outerrock. If you get me out of here, I'm sure he will pay you handsomely for my return.
The king?
Who?
Who's King Alterock?
You recognize the name King Arturok. King Arturok was the king of a major city before Emperor Pachacamac took it over.
You were sent here by the king.
Yes. Well, I was part of an expedition, and I read the symbols as much as you did, and then I ended up here, and I'm sure that if you get me out, you will be handsomely rewarded. I'm a prized possession.
How have you survived down here for so long?
It hasn't been that long. It has been.
There is no king.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Sort of getting a sense of what this conversation's going to be, Erland's going to walk over to the giant to sort of see if he has anything useful.
Wow.
Make an investigation check.
Well,
I'm sorry, you're not from Geldu.
Geldu. Do I recognize that?
You do.
Oh my god.
That was the name of. It is now known as Pachacama. Emperor Pachacamac renamed it when he took over the city.
oh my goodness.
And how, like, okay, Emperor Pachacama was
capital
like,
city.
yes, it
West, right?
is.
I mean, that was decades.
That was more than decades.
Hundreds of years.
Like 120 years since King Arturok was in any kind of position of power.
What is happening?
What? Tell me your name again.
Shaleer.
Shaleer?
Yes. Olavinus.
I'm afraid to tell you that you've somehow been down here for centuries.
That doesn't seem possible. No. It's been hours, maybe days.
Yes, are you sure? He looks so sprightly.
The king, it's the
Friday
time
isn't
before
what
the
it is.
emperor.
Are you saying that the king is dead?
The king is long dead.
Oh, praise be. That is wonderful news. That's great. All right, wonderful. Good.
Oh,
Were you indentured to him?
Oh, yeah, it's awful. It's terrible. Yeah. You're saying he's dead? Oh, that's wonderful. That's great. Oh, good stuff.
You perceive that you have been down here for mere hours.
Yeah, well, yes, yeah, hours. Yeah.
Obviously, the room is enchanted.
We
And
need to
can
get
I
out of
start
here.
walking around and I want to check for anything around the room that looks like anything like the symbols that I saw, and also just along the walls, along the floor.
Make an investigation check. And as you were looking around, the giant didn't seem to have any possessions of any kind. He kept a couple of nice shiny rocks in his back pocket, but they don't seem valuable.
I can't.
Like
with
not
this.
even
They're not
not even
gemstones.
ore, just shiny
Not
rocks.
like shiny, like smooth stones from the riverbed.
I'm somehow fine without those.
I have a flask in my backpack. Is it like a shiny metal? Like it would have a reflection to it? Sure. I take it out and I'm like, do you look much different than when you started your little journey?
No, I look quite the same, actually.
Okay, and she
He doesn't appear old, certainly. I mean, obviously not that
I would
old.
say
Graven, we need to
skinny.
get out of here.
What have you attempted to do to escape since you've gotten in here?
Well, say some words, recite some... There are symbols, sort of about, if you look, and
There
I've
are
been
some
trying
sort
to...
There are some sort of number symbols around, and as you're looking at... what was your investigation check? 8. Well, as you're looking around, you see under, sort of obscured by a little bit of the carriage's wreckage, there is another dimly lit sort of group of symbols, but you can't read it, so it doesn't look like they're numbers. It looks like them might be letters, but you don't speak the language, you don't understand the language.
Have you repeated the numbers?
Oh, endlessly, yeah. I've tried, this way, that way. I don't think my pronunciation is very good. He doesn't seem to be very happy with me.
You know the language that
Wait, he? Who's he? Do you know the voice?
No. There is a voice. You heard it.
It said imposters.
Yes.
What
he
did it
said-
say to you?
Well, he said something along the lines of, "You will respect your heritage, or I will keep you in a prison forever."
And did you disrespect your heritage?
I didn't mean to. Certainly, I was trying to.
That means yes. Is there a way to engage this voice? To get him to talk to you?
I haven't heard it since
Since you fell?
a few hours ago, or 100 years ago.
Are you standing near those letters that I just told you about?
Yeah.
You, as you're looking to her to talk to her, those didn't seem to be there until they got here.
What have you done?
Literally nothing.
Are you a Genasi as well?
A what? A what? Genasi?
You're a Genasi.
Yeah, right. What? Can we just let's
What
clear
is a
some of this-
Genasi?
Oh, no, wait. The what? A what?
Why don't we clear some of this rubble and I'll try to, say the
I think that
magic
there is
words.
pertinent information for everyone here. We need to get out of here.
There
What is a
absolutely is. It's
Genasi?
under the carriage, and can I start moving the?
Do we know what a Genasi is?
Maybe not.
Would I?
Maybe
They're very
not.
rare.
It should be like I'm obviously not. Like I've got weird things.
Yeah, you have strange colored skin.
You're not a Goliath, are you?
No.
Okay.
Would I know what a Genasi is?
Yeah, you actually might know. It's a
Yeah.
offspring of a genie and a mortal. They're part.
So wait, you're a Genasi?
Yeah. Yes, I am. Yes.
Oh, that's so intriguing.
So wait, you're a Genasi?
Not to my knowledge. Let's.
Can I see if that seemed true?
Yeah.
Insight check.
Knew that was coming.
16.
You insight check.
Did seem true.
It seems true, not to her knowledge.
She clears some of the rubble away. You can't read it. It's written in primordial. You can recognize it as that, but you can read it.
Well, we can't read it then. Oh no. Oh look. I don't know what you've done, but there's a lot more information here than there used to be.
What does it say?
Pardon my.
Feel free to take a second to read it.
Yeah.
So this is around the room? What they're looking
That
at?
message is on the floor.
Oh, just
this
on the
is like
ground.
kind of underneath where the carriage fell down into. But there are symbols like on the walls and things.
This is so intriguing. I've always wanted to meet a Genasi.
Graven, can you give me a brief anti-Suyu history lesson here?
The king was in the time before the emperor. What else?
I mean, what else do you want to know?
Basically all the stuff that
Yeah.
you said that I would.
You can relay the info. I mean, that before Emperor Pachacamac united Anti-Suyu under his rule, there was kings of a few different major areas. King Arturak was king of one of the largest cities, which is now known as Pachacama. Used to be called Geordie, was the name of the
So
city before.
did he like
Boy.
overthrow the king?
Yes, Emperor Pachacamac, like,
Yeah.
united lots of the cities under
Okay.
his rule, so yes.
And his king was
King Arturak.
King Arturak.
Our Turok.
Yeah, Arturak.
A-U-R-T-O-R.
Ah, yes, that you see.
Our Turok.
You gotta give me your name one more time.
My name is Shaleer.
Shaleer.
Yes.
The walls are telling me that I am to accompany you,
What?
To accompany us.
to guide you out of here.
Well, that's good news, I guess.
That's very kind of the walls after the centuries that they've kept you in here.
Do they have information on how to get out of here?
They tell me that I am to escort the intruders to the arbitration chamber.
Arbitration chamber.
Interesting. The arbitration chamber doesn't sound like a place I'd particularly like to go.
Well, I don't
I think it's either.
know if we have much
Yeah.
choice.
When you were imprisoned here, what were you doing above?
I work for the king, and I saw an opportunity to go on an expedition. There were archaeologists, they were excavating here, and
What were they excavating?
some sort of religious site. It doesn't really matter, but I heard that they needed
It does really matter.
to be able to speak primordial, and I don't know. I just wanted to.
So you came as a sort of translator of primordial to a bunch of archaeologists?
Yes, and sort of experts. But I saw the primordial. I started to speak it, and then I heard a voice that said, "You're disrespecting your heritage." And
Where were the other people that were
Yeah,
with you?
where are the archaeologists?
well, they did. I appeared in this chamber, and I haven't seen them since.
Hours ago.
Yes, hours ago. Well, it's
Okay.
time ago.
Yes.
I don't love the way time passes in here.
Yes, we need to get out quickly.
So perhaps we should follow the directions of the wall.
Have the walls spoken to you before, friend?
No, but there have been numbers.
And you've spoken those numbers and nothing happened.
I have tried. I think my pronunciation is lacking.
And I can see the words that he's talking about on the walls.
The walls have lots of numbers, and then the writing on the floor.
The writing's
there.
on the floor.
You can see the writing, but you
I
can't
just
read
can't
it.
read
Yes,
it. Okay.
but you don't speak.
We can all see them.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know who you are, and I just want to escape. So I'm not here to screw you over, but it says that if I wanted to begin, I should recite 2 digits. Should I recite those digits?
Well, yes, let's oblige the mysterious walls, shall we?
Yes?
There's
Yes,
nothing.
I would love to hear it.
Let's try it.
Kefvat.
And as he speaks the words, a quiet sort of rumbling is heard, and you hear this kind of stone grinding on stone, kind of and a section of the wall begins to sink into the ground. And immediately there's sort of a burst of
Oh.
a burst
papers.
of this kind of air. A burst of frigid air kind of pours into the room. And it causes your sort of cloaks and clothing to kind of billow, and then it settles down, and upon exhaling, your breath is sort of visible for a moment. It seems to have cooled the room down considerably. And looking through this sort of opening, looks very dark in there.
All right.
Okay.
Can
I'll
those
take a piece
with
of the
dark
carriage
vision-
and light it up.
Sure.
Oh, good.
Can those with dark vision see into it a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. If you get a little closer to it, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. You guys get a little closer. You see a bit of glare reflecting from the light off of what looks to be icy surfaces. It looks like this room, getting a little bit closer, you see walls, sort of not stalagmites because they're not stone, but sort of pillars of ice sticking up. Seems like there's a cavern. It has opened up into an icy sort of cavern.
Ooh.
No, I don't like
Well?
this. He's trying to freeze us.
Can we see how big it is?
You want to step all the way up to it? Yeah.
Not into it.
I want
Okay.
to step into the room.
Sure. You step into it, and if it looks fairly big, at least sort of the whole room, maybe 100 feet by 100 feet, so it's pretty big. And in addition to that, right where the sort of the opening just opened up, there's these circular stone discs sort of embedded in the ground that look like they're there to provide footing of some kind.
Okay. Can I kneel down on the ground, looking at the stone disc? Can these be manipulated in any way?
They, as you touch it, they're in the ice really good. Like you can't find any way to
No
manipulate
purchase.
something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then is there any text written on these walls?
Not yet. Not that you can see.
Before I sort of proceed into the room, can I grab some rations from the trail?
Yeah,
from the
you can pack up
carriage?
some of your belongings. Yeah.
Do you grab rations?
I didn't write anything down. You didn't give me specifics, but
You can pack up most of what you had.
Okay, if you were to do that.
You would have to, if you're not bringing the ram, that's staying.
Yeah, I know.
oh yeah, I've been just
Do you
holding
wanna-
onto it.
Do you want me to carry the ram?
What is the ram?
He has like a portable ram. That
Oh,
he bought.
nice.
Start smashing stuff.
Do you want me to carry the ram?
Carry it until it. Yes, until it's no longer
Well, no,
useful.
because you need to carry light. I'll carry it.
I can strap it to my back somehow.
Okay.
You can also light the ram.
Give me that.
Bright light.
So dope.
Oh, it's like a light purple.
Ooh.
Everything has sort of a royal purple veneer over on the walls. It's reflecting off the ice. Sort of makes a kind of an aurora borealis effect off of the ice.
Sweet.
So, who are you?
Travelers, we awoke our dead giant friend and fell through the excavation site.
That was your friend. I'm terribly.
No, he's just being sarcastic.
Well,
Very good. We were up top the scaffolding that perhaps has been here as long as you, and it's been built over. And when we came upon the hill giant, we crashed through.
There wasn't scaffolding when you got here.
No. Scaffolding. Interesting. You didn't see the. I don't know. Remains of people. Would my armor have like an insignia or something? Like, would it have any like markings from?
It doesn't have like a royal insignia of any kind.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fairly nice. It looks like of a court.
New-ish,
Yeah.
like nice leather.
Yeah. So it's like finely crafted.
If you're a prisoner here, how do you know what this arbitration chamber is?
I have no idea what the arbitration chamber is. I read the words arbitration chamber.
I have a feeling, and I'm kind of calling out from the room as I'm standing in the center of it, that since you're our guide, we're not going to get any more information until you stand in the center of this room.
So you've walked a good ways in.
I would also like to mention that the walls say that the guardians of the temple are going to stay hostile towards us.
Fantastic. Still, I think you should enter the room.
That was the last bit that I just
You
read.
failed to mention that part.
It says, I'm sorry, it says here at the last bit, the guardians will remain hostile to your presence, tread lightly. So perhaps,
Who are the
big
guardians?
fellow, you can tread lightly?
Perhaps when you get information, you will share all of
I am so sorry, I did not mean to keep that. You're right, if I have offended, I am desperately sorry.
Don't be mean, Graven.
Have you walked into the room? Okay, because with the ram sort of coming into the room, it really lights up the room. It's reflecting off of all the ice surfaces, and it opens up, and you see this large cavern that has a biting cold and a sort of eerie stillness. And the stillness is broken up only very occasionally by a very quiet sort of like tinkling noise. Almost sounds like if you like brushed up against a chandelier or something like that. It kind of has that jingling kind of effect.
Mm-hmm.
And aside from the stone discs that you sort of walked along, the whole room is blanketed in ice, snow, and it looks, for the most part, it looks like the stone discs kind of move up to a certain point and then stop at, there's an object up there if you want to walk
Can
up
I,
there.
like, just stepping on the stones, I'm
Mhm.
going to walk up to where the object is.
Sure, you walk up to the object,
Careful.
and it leads up to what looks to be sort of a raised stone basin. Almost like a large bird bath, but the base of it's much thicker, so it's like a big sort of stone basin. And there are symbols around the rim.
Do I recognize them?
They look primordial, but you can't
But I
read
can't
it.
read
Yeah.
them. Okay. I'm going to back away on the just stepping on the stone steps. And I'm going to turn, like kind of pivot on the stone and turn around so that I can face the people who are looking at the room.
And you can see them, the Graven's light from the rams lighting up the room pretty well.
More letters, I think, for you.
And do please share all.
Yes, of course I will, I'm sorry.
Step only on these stones. Not sure why, but I think maybe you should. It just feels like a trap.
Looks slippery.
Yes, of course, very, very good. I will.
So I'll kind of move
walk along,
aside
yeah.
to let him.
Move
The
along.
stones aren't big, but you kind of
Yeah,
side
kind of,
step past each other.
Would I know like what would I recognize primordial from my studies at all?
It's
Like
very rare. It's not
Okay.
a language used much at all.
okay.
Yeah. And you go up and you can
Oh my
read.
goodness.
Okay.
I shall read what I
Please take your
what I
time.
read.
And as you're reading it, you also sort of take a peek around up here from this point of the stone base, and you look around, and there, with the light sort of lighting up from the ram, you can see in a couple corners of this icy cavern a few sources of like liquid that's not frozen, like little pools almost.
Oh.
And the pools give off three very faint glows of different colors. There's a yellow glow, a blue glow, and a red glow. Very, very faint color. Like it wouldn't even light up the room if you didn't have the source of light. It's sort of, you see these pools of liquid.
Perhaps before reciting it, summarize it for us, if it's a decree.
It seems to be instructions. There are 3 options, and there are color combinations for each of the options.
Oh.
It seems.
Okay.
And what are our options?
Well, what are their results first?
Are the results?
What are do they
Do they tell you
describe
what would
results?
happen?
No, it simply says 3 rooms,
Okay.
and each of the rooms has a color combination.
But they don't say what's in each room?
Well, the rooms are called the entrance hall, the room of riches, and the arbitration chamber. Now, I'm supposed to take the arbitration chamber. I would like to put in a vote for the room of riches.
No, we're not going to.
If there's an entity that knows that we're here and is guiding us, I don't believe they'll be very pleased with us going there.
This seems like as good a time as any for you to explain to us what sort of religious chamber was being excavated when you came here.
I do not know. Honestly, I know that they had primordial though, and I've always been able to understand primordial.
How much do you know about genies?
Not very much, actually.
Anyone? I know almost nothing.
Would I know anything?
What specifically? I mean,
My great grandfather was a Dao.
What is a Dao?
it's like an earth genie, like an earth elemental based genie. Yeah.
Which is why I look like this.
Cool.
And did your great uncle or grandfather?
Grandfather, yes, down in direct blood.
Sorry.
Yes,
Did you recognize any of the? Did you recognize the religion he practiced, or?
I don't think genies practice a religion. I
Do
don't.
you like games? Riddles.
What I know of Dao, and would I know this, is that they're like jewels.
Yes. Well, then I think maybe we should avoid.
Stay
the
away
riches.
from his riches.
All right. Well then,
The other is entrance and arbitration.
entrance hall, arbitration chamber, room of riches.
And the previous thing told you to bring us to the arbitration.
Yes, it did not say directly.
Should we try
You're
the
right.
entrance?
No, I think that not following instructions seems like a pretty good way to aggravate the. What was that again?
My great grandfather.
No. Like this writing that he originally read. They said that the
Guardians?
the Guardians will remain hostile. It was the Guardians.
The Guardians.
Yes, perhaps we should follow the instructions.
Seems like not following instructions might be something that they might not take well to.
I don't know if I'm ready to be judged by an entity.
Neither am I.
Or will you be ready to be judged by an entity after you go to the entrance hall?
The entrance hall to what?
Would I know if genies like to play games or riddles? Like, is that kind of their
Sure.
behavior,
Yeah,
their
that's
nature?
kind of. I mean, they do like riddles, and they like amassing wealth, as he said,
Mm-hmm.
and in doing so, they like to protect their wealth with
Tricks.
riddles, traps, tricks.
Everyone, if we do go into this arbitration, I don't know, clear your mind of any desire for riches.
Oh, okay, that's fine. You don't seem so confident, my friend.
I have, there is a certain. I want riches. I'll do my best.
Well, hopefully it takes us individually.
At this point, I like. So, what does it say? How do we get into this arbitration?
It says yellow and blue.
And does it say what to do with yellow and
No, it says yellow and blue. It says yellow plus blue.
Do we have to drink it or something?
I imagine that it's something to do with this basin.
Oh, that makes more sense.
So, is there anything that I would have either in my backpack or that's around the room that looks like it could scoop up a liquid?
I have
You
a
have a
flask.
flask. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna remove my flask from my bag. Is there a way just stepping on the stones that I can?
The stones lead up to the basin, and these pools are well into the. Like, you cross a decent bit of ice to get to
How
these.
far away are they?
They're different distances. The yellow one is probably 25 feet away.
Okay.
The blue one's probably 50 feet away, and
Damn
the red
it.
one maybe 40 feet away.
I can get to one of them with my mage hand.
Can you carry the flask and
I should be able to, unless it's
put
like
it into the basin?
unless it's a very heavy liquid. I should be able to pick it up.
Well,
Should I try it?
Yellow plus.
Blue
For the arbitration.
for the arbitration. Yes.
Well, get the one you can reach first, I suppose. Are they all? Hold on. Are they all combinations of two?
Yes.
Okay.
So tempted to lie to you right now, but I'm not gonna.
Is he saying that to them?
No.
Mace is like. Alright. Try to get the yellow is the closest. Yellow.
Yellow, yes.
Just a little bit.
I'm trusting you. You're telling the truth, right, about the room code.
I am absolutely telling you the truth. I'm also telling you the truth that I wouldn't mind some riches, but
Yeah, no
arbitration
one's
is yellow,
interested.
yellow,
Yes.
yellow and blue.
No one wants the riches.
Does arbitration room seem to be yellow and blue?
Make an insight check.
I'm kind of announcing to the room, no one wants the riches. Like,
So you're
that's
saying
a
that if we
lie.
find riches,
That
you
is a
don't want
lie.
them, is what you're saying?
absolutely,
I am
that's what I'm
not. Do
saying.
not
We are
touch the
not-
riches. Do not touch the riches, my friend.
All right, yes.
Don't do it.
11.
I'd rather my life than the
It's hard to
riches.
tell.
Okay, so Orba pulls out her own flask, casts Mage Hand, has the hand pick up the flask and take it over to the yellow.
Sure. So the hand sort of grabs the flask and it moves quickly over to the corner, and you hear a tink, and it looks like there was a little dome of ice over the yellow pool.
Orba smacks it. Just
Kind of tink, tink, tink.
Well,
And as
I-
the tink kind of hits the thing, you see a little bit of shuddering on an ice,
I
and
saw
then
doing
it gets still again. Not the dome, but a nearby sort of
Oh.
things looked like just a sculpture of ice or just a piece of ice. It looked like it kind of shook.
What shape? What shape?
It looked like ice moving.
So the stones are in the basin, like stepping stones are in the basin.
In the basin.
Sorry, like the stepping. There's a basin. Yes.
There's a basin in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
Safira and Shaleer kind of walked along these circular stones that led up to the basin from the
Right.
door you came from.
Yeah, which is I
Other than-
assume where the rest of us are standing.
Sure, yeah. And other than that, there is no stone. The rest of it's ice. If you walked anywhere but off of this one path, it's
But
ice.
in order to get to the yellow, blue, and red, you would have to cross some ice.
Yes.
How heavy do the things look that are holding the colored ones? They're not in a bowl. They're in like a.
How heavy do the things look?
Are they on a like a pedestal with the
No,
dome
they're
covering
pools in
it?
the ground.
Oh, literally
They're
in the ground.
literally like
okay.
an ice hole.
My mistake.
And it's,
Okay.
yeah.
And so, but it's a dome, not like a flat.
Over the
okay.
yellow one, yeah. That you
Over the yellow one. I bring the flasks back. Well, I don't seem to be able to access it, and I think I just made something grumpy by getting mad at the ice.
Someone's going to have to walk over.
How do we walk over?
All right. Well, someone has to melt the ice on top.
Maybe
I-
not.
I could
Can
melt
I-
the ice.
Can I
That would create quite a bit of noise.
Can I like
wouldn't it?
put my like kind of toe just out onto the ice? You know what I mean?
With one foot still on the.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put
Do
a
I
foot.
notice anything?
No, kind of. There's a little
Can
bit
I
of dusting of snow covering it.
Start
Kind
to put a little weight on my foot.
of. Sure. So it holds.
It's solid.
Yeah.
Which one is she going towards?
I have
The
a
yellow one, I
I
think.
have
Or
a
she just took
feeling-
a toe off the thing.
I could
Look, I have a feeling that it might just be.
try to
One of
melt
the
the ice with a bit of sacred flame.
The ice that's covering the yellow?
Yes.
Oh,
Can
Look,
you-
I think if you disturb the ice, you disturb whatever.
Well,
that
how are we
was.
going to get to
We'd
the
have to.
source
We either have to
anyways?
get close to it personally, or I can do it from here, and then.
And
Me
you're
and my-
still holding the. You're going. We have to get to.
Well, it's still lit. It stays lit even if I put it down.
Oh,
yeah.
did
So
it-
I've come up to the middle, and I'll just kind of put the ram by near the basin.
So the
Steady.
little ice guys that shook themselves a little bit, did it seem like they got very... Were they like shedding an exoskeleton of ice? Is that like what it looked like?
Seems like maybe they were made of ice.
Okay. But they just moved a little bit as she was tinking it?
And then kind of went back.
Yes?
I am quite light on my feet, if you'd like me to try to go up to one of the pools.
Maybe two of us should go to each of them.
I think that's a bad idea. I think it should be one of us. I think it should be him.
But we need to get two colors.
I
And
know,
it
but
seems
if we
like a
both
lot-
go at the same time.
And
then
we want to do it quickly, so if we could do it at
Yes,
the same
so
time.
if
Yes.
at the very least, if they attack, like both of us, someone can run back with it. We don't have to run and get it again.
Why don't I stay here and bring up the rear because I'm ranged and you guys go?
What was the name of the
or
thing
you
that he...
stay because you're heavy.
Yeah.
I'll stay with him.
Well, he should go by himself, and I should go to the other one.
I thought we were,
We were going
teams
in
of
his.
two.
Why would we, if we need to do it quietly, why would we not just go individually?
Well, what if somebody gets, grabbed by something? The other person has to run away.
Then
Why don't we just... do you have a cup? Does anyone have a cup?
I
I'm-
hand,
They have flasks.
yeah,
Can
I
I
hand
have
my,
one? Can I
I hand
borrow?
him my flask. Yeah. What?
What was the name of the thing that he called me, by the way? I forgot.
The name of
The
what?
genie, like, mix.
Genasi.
Genasi.
He asked you if you were one. He didn't
Yeah.
call you one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You filthy Genasi. you filthy me.
Yeah, he just asked. Before before you go.
Yes?
I'm just gonna grab
Huh?
him by the armor.
Graven, what are you doing?
Be careful, and if this color combination proves to be anything other than what you said it is,
Yes.
you'll have more to deal with than any entity in here.
Understood.
Be careful.
Which one are you going to?
Which one's further?
The farthest from you was the blue one. That is the farthest one.
I want to go towards the blue one.
And the yellow one's the other one we need?
The yellow one's the one covered in a sort of dome of ice. Yes.
Please be safe.
Yes.
No, please be safe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Take care of yourself is what I'm trying to say.
I'm trying to. Yes. I'd like to start moving.
Great.
Lightly and quickly.
Make an acrobatics check as you sort of walk onto the slippery ice.
Da-da-da. I got that one. 6.
Takes one step off of the sort of stone thing and sort of a little spout of sort of the dusting of snow on top of the ice gives way and he sort of falls on his butt on where the sort of stone circle was. And it causes a little bit, he yelps a little bit, and it causes a little reverberation in the room, and you see some little...
I told you to be careful.
I'm so sorry. I'm so. I really am quite light on my feet. I promise.
Why don't you crawl the rest of the way?
Okay.
Are you crawling?
Is that really nice?
I believe so.
If he's going towards
Believe is
blue and
necessary.
seeing what happened, I want to sort of get into like a almost like like a 3/4 sort of like lineman type stance, and sort of very carefully start going towards the yellow one.
Great, make an acrobatics check. You're not getting around that with your stance.
11.
11. Okay, you get onto the ice and it's sort of there's a little bit. The dusting of snow makes it very hard to catch your footing, but there's a little bit of slipping. But then you sort of settle, and you can make your way slowly
I'm
along.
gonna make my way over to the yellow one. I assume I'm gonna get there first
Yeah,
because
you guys
it's
left it
25 feet and he's
A
crawling.
50-foot crawl.
And are they kind of in opposite directions? Like we'd have to keep an eye on one at a time?
Yeah, they're in like
Okay.
3 different corners of the room. So,
Alright.
and you're in the middle, the base.
As soon as I see that he's still on his feet, I'm just laser focused on him.
Are you sure I need to crawl the whole way? You sure I can't try to walk? I'm like 25 feet away.
Still crawling.
Why don't you just stay?
Stay crawling or
Yes.
just stay put?
Stay crawling.
It's very cold.
It's very cold.
It's very cold in my hands.
Yeah,
I'm starting to like go like this.
Now that I'm there,
You make your way there.
is the ice? Is it magic? Can I reach through, or
Is
is
it
it like the dome? It's like it's a legit ice dome.
Seems ice, yeah. It seems like it's hardened over.
Well, I'm gonna take my. I have like a vial.
Wait.
So I'm just gonna have my vial out and at the ready.
Okay.
Is there any way for you, Goliath?
What?
Is there any way for you to melt this quietly?
Look, before
I
we
can
interfere
try.
with the dome of ice, I think we should wait until
Yes.
Shaleer makes it over to
I
that
agree.
dome.
I agree.
Crawling very slowly.
You're doing
You
a
crawl, and
great
as,
job.
as you're getting closer and closer to the sort of blue pool, it's in this sort of slightly recessed part of the cavern, so the ceiling is getting lower as you're getting closer to the pool. And if you look straight up, there are some sort of ice formations clinging to the top that look like they're moving ever so slightly.
Hey,
Yes.
hey! What? The ice is moving.
Oh goodness.
Focus on your task.
The ice is moving above my head.
Just be slow. And
All right, very good.
Make a stealth check.
Yes.
How far away is he at that point?
The
From me.
pool was like 50 feet, so he's probably like at this point 30, 35 feet.
20.
Oh!
Not a natural 20. 20.
Okay.
So he continues to move, and sort of on all fours, it's difficult to sort of bump into anything unintentionally, so he quietly traverses the ice. It's getting very cold on your sort of forearms and hands, but sort of slowly continues forward.
And I just focus, just focusing in and not worrying about the thing above me or the things above me, just trying to get there as quietly as possible.
Yeah. It looks like he's basically made it there. Yeah.
You got. Yeah.
Another dome.
There's a dome around.
Oh no, there's not a
Oh,
no,
no.
it's open.
Scoop it.
Scoop it in. And as you dip it in, like it tingles on your fingers a little bit where you kind of got into the water. It doesn't hurt, but it has sort of a almost like a numbing sensation. And you scoop up a little bit of the liquid. And it seems to go.
But not like super cold. It's not like freezing cold.
No,
I
it's
mean,
not. No,
just
it's
like-
actually
like-
surprisingly not freezing, but like not sticking your hand in a frozen pool.
Graven, let him walk. Let him walk. Please walk.
No.
Yes, let him. Shaleer, walk.
If this goes badly, just get
Oh
up.
yes, we know you're killing. Come on.
And now he's got the thing and he's trying to get up onto his feet while
Yeah,
holding
yeah.
it, make
Yeah, yeah.
acrobatics checks.
I told you we should crawl.
Wait, is it a 6 or a 9? That is a 6 plus 10 attack.
Alright, so he takes it and he gets up onto his knees first, and then goes to one foot and kind of, and a little bit of the liquid kind of spills. If you catch it, nothing happens, and you're able to get to your feet. Starts to make his way back. What's going on while this is happening?
I'm waiting for him to sort of. I'm waiting to see what develops over there.
Anything else? Anything else going on while he's walking there?
Just seeing that he like was able to get it, I'm signaling to Erland just
No, it's possible that when we put the blue in the basin, maybe the other ones will somehow unlock.
I just want him off the ice when we do.
Then why did he go over?
Yeah, I
I'm
don't.
absolutely not coming back.
Maybe we should try the room of riches first.
No.
Maybe that's what
Listen,
they
Say
Give
that
me
one more time
that.
and put your head in the basin.
He makes his way
Is he back?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's making his way
I take it from him.
They were moving over there. The ice things, they were moving above my head. It's very scary.
Goliath,
Good
before
job.
you pour it in,
Do you want me to try to cast a bit of flame?
can you do it quietly?
Do that. I think if you Why disturb do you the have to ice, go it's going to make the things mad.
Absolutely it is.
What do you want to do instead?
Pour it in the
Can
basin.
put it in the basin first, let's see what happens.
No, absolutely not.
I'm listening to the monk on the ice at the moment.
The
There
wow.
we go.
Is-
I'm gonna whip up a little bit of sacred flame.
No. So if I have,
He has just done that.
Sacred Flame's out, right?
Well, okay.
Yeah, so what's
The spell is a cantrip, 60 feet. Flame-like radiance
get ready to
descends
have that.
on a
Get ready.
creature I can see within range.
Then you can't use that.
I can't
Yeah,
use that.
It's, not, it's sort of divine almost in nature. Like it has to
What
have
is he
charm.
actually doing right now? That is he like kind of thinking to himself
Yeah,
about
he's
the spell?
thinking.
Can I just
He went like this and nothing happened, and now he's
So-
thinking.
So I'm kind of looking at him going,
Stop. What do you think is going to happen? When he went over there, the ice things moved. What? No, we are not fucking with anything in the ice room. Absolutely not. We don't break the ice. We tread lightly. Does treading lightly sound to you like summoning up a flame and
Does-
lighting the basin? Does that sound
standing
like
here for another century and a half sound better to you?
a century? I think that's
What do you want to do
I
then?
want him to walk over to that one and then get some of that one, get it, put it in the basin. That seems like the
Well,
most
of what
logical.
What are you talking
You
about?
can't
We have
access
to
the
get one.
yellow.
Yeah.
There's
Can't
a-
get to it.
I think we need to put this one in the basin
Yeah.
first.
Oh,
I
he's already
imagine-
here. He's already back.
I'm here. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. I imagine if as soon as we do that, we might have an opening.
With one of the two colors in a combination.
Hey,
While they're yelling at each other, does it seem like Orba's cup hitting? Is there like, if it's ice, did it seem like it dented or is it
Maybe a
magical
tiny
ice?
chip. It looks like it has some thickness to it, so it didn't like make a crack in it.
Right, but like it seemed to have some effect. It's not
Yeah,
a magical
It
ice.
doesn't seem like
Okay.
it. Nothing about it makes you think that. Yeah.
Shaleer, what were the other?
Can you try to break it slowly?
I have,
Break it
Did
slowly.
I have. Sorry, when we originally saw
Gingerly.
these domes, did we
Just one
see
dome.
them
Yes.
just one, and it's just on this one?
As far as
It's
you can
over
tell,
yellow.
only the yellow.
I'm
It's over
sorry.
yellow, which is the
Shaleer,
color
what
we
were
need.
what specifically were the combinations of each thing? Can I just hear them for a moment?
Yes, I'm reading again. And it says here the entrance hall is red and blue, the room of riches is red and yellow, and the arbitration chamber is yellow and blue. And we have blue.
So, Safira,
We have-
if you're so worried
We
about
have blue or we have
disturbing
yellow?
You have blue.
We have blue. So we
and
could
I'm at yellow.
we could go to the entrance hall.
That's what I was about to say.
That's not what we're supposed to do.
If you don't want to disturb the ice, then our other option is to try to go to the entrance hall, which is exactly what they told us
Yes,
not
but
to
I think what we are suspecting is that once you pour the blue into the basin,
Something
maybe the
will
yellow
happen.
will open.
I don't have a snapping thing. Do you want my dagger?
Don't throw it. I have oil for oil lamps. Tiefling, is there anything you can do to agitate it into flame?
No.
Can I not conjure a little flame?
Not with that one.
Not
You
with that
have
one?
you have like burning hands, I think.
I do have burning hands.
Yeah.
Hold your hands and thumbs over a thin sheet of flame.
One of us is
Yeah,
gonna
so that
run.
does
15-foot cone.
So that doesn't
That's a
require,
big
but it doesn't
spell, that's
require a creature as a target. Yeah, so that's
Okay,
15
but it would be if it's an evocation, I'm using a spell slot to like
Yep.
make fire.
Yep.
Does this ice look thick enough that if I gave it a really good elbow, it might break?
Elbow.
How about
You'd
a
have to
quarter
give it
staff?
Elbow
a
might
real.
Okay, how about like a quarterstaff? Would it break?
Maybe with a good whack, or with a ramming device.
Oh no, I don't. Don't worry, I thought about that.
Alright.
I mean, you guys end up doing what you want to do. I'm just getting ready to fight some stuff because you're about to make them angry.
Erland.
Is there anywhere to hide around right exactly where we are? Like a thing to duck behind, or
Is there anywhere to hide?
or a place to climb up into, or anything
Not
like
on
that?
the stone path, but there's like sort of ice blocks and pillars of ice that yes, you could hide.
Can I just sort of like, as they're discussing breaking the ice, like back up? I'm like
Sure.
nodding in approval, but just sort of backing up into like Ned Flandering.
Take a couple steps back, and there's a pillar of ice that's reaching from the floor almost all the way to the ceiling. You can kind of hold on to it and sort of move.
Can Orba sense that and like stand in front of him to like just provide some shelter?
This is just my. This is where I feel safe.
That's okay, I've got you.
Erland.
This is a very bizarre question. The dancing
Can't
clan
wait.
room key. What is it? Is it like an old-fashioned looking key, or is it like a newer kind of
What are you
key
gonna do with it?
that I could
Is it
maybe?
like a key card at a hotel?
No, like is it like is
Will
it
it
is,
open
is
the
it is it large cylinders, or is it sort of like pointing at the end that I might be able to make a small hole without making much noise? You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, it's like an old like a you
Making a
picture like an old
siphon it?
chest kind of like.
Yeah.
I mean, you could
A
scratch
straw
at it, but it
through
looks
the hole.
thick. I mean, based on the sort of ability to see through to the pool, it looks. If you did that, that would take a long time to
Okay.
This kid
scratch your
spends
way
8
through.
gold on a portable ram. Wants to use it.
Graven?
Yes.
The moment that ice cracks, I guarantee you something's going to attack you.
Well, then it's best to get ready, Safira.
And you're still holding the.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I think he's still.
Yeah. Oh, you took it
from
I'm always ready. That's not the
I'm
problem.
gonna. Okay.
So-
I'm gonna hand.
I'm gonna start to. How? Ooh, is it smooth ice?
Mostly, yeah. It's not a perfect.
Put
cone,
the
but yeah,
ram
it's mostly-
gently down on the ice. See if it holds, and then slide it to me. See if it can take the weight.
I'm coming out there.
That you're so.
Really?
That's such.
You're coming
What's
out.
wrong with sliding?
It's very slippery.
It's what slide the
I'll
ram.
tell you that, but
You'd
you're
like to
enormous.
lose the ram.
I'll just get it if you slide it badly.
Just slide those.
I'm gonna hand the yellow stuff to Orba and say, "Don't put this in there until something happens."
Until
And I'm gonna start walking out.
Make an acrobatics check as you step on it. And you're holding the ram?
No, the ram is still in the middle of the.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That was an important calculation you just made there.
Where's the ram?
The ram is in the middle of the room making
You're
light.
leaving the ram?
I'm the fire baby. I'm coming.
Please don't.
Acrobatics.
It's, it's happening.
Natural one.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my god, Anthony!
I'm gonna murder you! Anthony!
Graven takes a step out onto the ice, and immediately the foot gives way. And in doing so, he sort of tumbles back a little bit and puts his hands down to catch himself and hits the ram, which goes sliding across in the opposite direction. So you fell, and the ram went in the other direction, and and you could hear it sort of grinding against the ice as it, and then it kind of hits a sort of wall of ice on the far side, and it sort of the noise kind of echoed throughout, and you wait a moment. And you hear a little bit of tinkling. And one ice sculpture sort of turns a little bit, and now, sort of moving a bit, you can make out the features of sort of an impish-looking face. And it kind of... And it holds out an arm that's sort of attached in a kind of like wing. And it gives you a look. And it looks down to the ram, which is still lit, sort of lighting up this area. Mm-hmm. And it looks back to you, and it kind of... And it... Sort of a jet of cold air kind of moves slowly in your direction.
My direction.
Yeah.
It is... I was facing Erland.
It is behind you.
And I pushed that thing away. It hit the wall, and that thing's behind me, hawing at me.
Yes.
On at me.
And it looks like it's slowly crawling down the ice wall.
I'm going to cast Sacred Flame at it.
Great. Make an attack.
At the thing?
In the room full of ice?
Wait, what are you casting?
At the creature that's coming at me.
Yeah.
Descends on a creature I can see within range. The target must succeed on a dexterity saving throw.
This is the worst.
11.
That fails.
Great. So what's
fails. 1d8 radiant damage. Why isn't it fire damage?
It's a sacred flame.
It's God.
Five radiant damage.
Great. So it appears the sort of beam of light, and it hits it, and you can see like pieces of ice kind of flying off its body, but it doesn't disintegrate. It doesn't destroy immediately, and it with a sort of screeching noise, a number of other pieces of ice kind of look up and in your guys' direction, and everybody roll initiative.
Sorry, guys.
And
Oh my god. 1, you guys. I'm not even gonna be.
Oh, natural 1. That's great.
Oh, well, it was an 18 before you booped it.
Wow.
Well, is that the worst natural one we've ever rolled? It might be.
That's probably the most consequential so far.
You should have crawled.
take your own advice.
Yeah, but,
You're not wrong.
are you gonna be rolling for a moment here?
Yes.
Take your time.
No, I can do them now. Because it's all the same kind of creature.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so do we have 20 to 25? 15 to 19. 19's me.
Ooh.
Nice.
Okay, so 10 to 14.
11.
13 is the ice creature.
13 is
Safira's
ice
refusing to
monster.
fight out of spite.
I wish
Okay, 5 to 10.
8.
Sorry, 6.
8 and 6.
So this is the basin. This is where you came in. So most of you are crowded like around the basin.
She did this.
Erland was over near the
So I have
yellow.
like half my health
we
right
went
now.
through this whole she rolled it.
Even
and
after
then
the
did
heal
it,
he
how'd
gave
she
you?
do it, and then she
All right,
was
what'd you
I
roll?
was near
0.
like
It's great. It's just insult.
All right.
Exactly. It's great.
Have you got everybody there?
Yep.
Is that little guy Geordie?
That is Shaleer. Yes, this little yellow guy here.
Oh, okay, great.
Is it annoying?
You're not that small, but
No.
Not plus
Kind of
one.
live.
more monsters.
Oh, okay. Let's hope not.
Oh boy.
They will.
Oh boy.
How many are there? Oh!
A few.
Oh my goodness.
Are they all the
So-
same or are they all different?
They all look the same, yeah. And, they all look like sort of icy creatures. The
Okay.
things aren't exactly represented.
Now, the first one, the one that did something to me and I
Yeah,
hit
that's
it.
the one
That's
that
this one
yeah,
right there.
you disturbed. So that
Okay.
one is injured.
And is that like that mist or whatever haw thing still incoming at the moment?
No, that looked like it was like sort of it took a breath and was maybe
Oh.
signaling to others. That wasn't
Okay.
an attack of
Okay.
of any kind.
Well, I may have overreacted. How dare you breathe at me?
7 of his friends come out of
Does anybody have any questions about what's going on before we start?
So the ground. Oh, sorry. The ground is the ground other than where they are clustered. very, very slippery.
Yeah, so it's not on here. So this is where you came from. So like this, and then there is like the stone circles.
Okay, so safe to assume that it's rough terrain when it's on ice.
Yeah, in fact, Graven was like right here. Safira was on the circle. So you two, and you had just come back from Blue Basin over there.
Sure. That's blue. That's yellow. And red was over there.
And that coin is the
That's the basin.
The basin.
Mhm.
Okay.
Large stone basin.
Battle music, baby.
Yep.
I guess there's not really anything obstructing view. Like you said, there was an ice pillar.
Yeah, there's
but-
some general obstacles, but for the most part, they're not so big that they would obstruct like line of sight for something like that.
I know.
Don't start.
Any other questions? Because we're gonna go to break first.
Oh,
because otherwise, we're gonna the
Woo!
can
That's
take
true.
too long. So
All right.
we're gonna hop in a break. We're gonna take a
Oh
quick break,
my
and then we'll
God.
have a
You
longer second
guys, you
half.
fools.
Y'all.
I'm so unhappy. Sorry.
It was going so well. He crawled all the way over there.
Pretty sure the
Well,
ladies
yeah, my-
in the group
my, like,
were right,
my fingers
is
are all
I'm
numb
saying.
now.
Great. So
Oh
thank you guys for watching. We'll pick it
God.
up when we come back, and we'll see what happens.
Bye. Oh. What is it?
All right, we're back.
Yeah.
Before we dive right back in, we wanted to give a quick shout out.
Thank you so much to Comrade Tortel, who gifted 5 subs. So, Secret of Butts, Carlin, Ryan Reed, Vanquisher, and the one Johnson, you all have subs for the month. So, thank Comrade Tortel.
Butts,
That's
Johnson,
very,
I see a pattern.
very sweet. So,
Ding.
thank you very much. And I'm posting your fan art later.
Oh yeah.
Because we all loved it.
And for anyone who has a sub, including the people that were gifted subs, if you saw at the beginning of the stream or if you wait till the end, if you want to give us a little quote, we like to put it in the guest book that we have that runs the beginning and end of every stream to say thank you. So thank you so much for your support.
Yay. It's so nice.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
You're cool.
Let's go.
All right, we're diving right back in. Let's get some.
What are we doing? Nothing special, right?
Right? I got the yellow thing and we're just gonna pour it in. And
Yep.
Oh, look at those not spell slots that I have.
But you haven't cracked the. Nope,
No.
the dome is very much intact. He just
the
watched
ram-
Graven go.
Where's the ram?
It's right behind Graven.
Boy, do I hate that.
Well, actually, no,
against
it's
the wall,
slid. Yeah,
right?
it slid
Yeah.
all the way to the.
It's literally
Here, so
furthest
this is
away it could be.
Okay, cool.
With your
Here,
hand?
if it's the location of that might be important. So
Ooh, a little
No,
ram
my
token?
big hand.
I don't have a ram token,
you
but
didn't make
here's
a ram
the
token?
No.
What is it?
Oh, I like it.
I don't know about
Seems
it.
representative. I
Yeah.
like that. I mean, runic.
All right, who's up?
It's me.
All right.
Can I pour the blue into the basin? And not.
We'll call that a bonus action. Or not a bonus action. There's a free sort of interaction.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Okay, so Orba's gonna look to Graven and be like, sorry, and just pour.
And you pour it in, and as it sort of swirls into this sort of drain in the stone basin, it kind of goes in, and it seems like it sort of goes all the way in. It doesn't react as of yet.
It doesn't like turn blue or anything though?
No.
Did I pour all of it?
Yep. And again, the basin did not have any liquid in it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought there was water
No,
in it.
the basin, and it has a little
Oh,
drain.
so there's glue
yeah,
in
so
it.
it poured into a drain.
Oh, so it's like the final hole at mini golf.
Or a sink.
You're just a regular basin
That's where my
hole.
brain went. Okay, and then, I guess seeing all of the threats around her, she's gonna, cast Maximilian's Earthen Grasp.
Right.
You do that without earth?
Um,
Over there?
Let's see. A medium hand made from compacted soil rises. A space on the ground that you can see within range.
Soil, though? Earth? There is none of that.
But the hand is made of soil.
Okay.
Does that mean
It doesn't say that
it
it-
comes from soil? I'm gonna read it exactly
Sure.
as it is. You can choose a 5-foot square of unoccupied space on the ground that you can see within range. A medium hand made of compacted soil rises
Yeah,
there.
the hand is made of soil. Yeah, you can still cast it.
Okay, sweet. Let's take a look here. I'm gonna think that the one next to Erland is probably gonna get feisty in Erland.
Okay.
So I'm gonna cast it right near, that gentleman there.
This
Right,
one?
yes. Yeah, can I have it
There. Where do you want it?
between him and Erland?
Yeah.
You're welcome.
His hand, it kind of like punches up through the ice. It's sort of like shattering.
And I'm gonna reach out and smack that dude.
Great. What is
So it's a strength saving throw.
Great. -1.
He fails.
Nice.
So he takes.
Oh my lord.
He takes 2d6.
And what type of damage?
1 second. Nice. 11 of bludgeoning damage.
11 bludgeoning. So the hand reaches out and it grabs the figure, and it's like it has these little kind of wings that stick out, and it wraps it up, and it crushes, and it and the entire creature crashes into icicles that kind of fly around the room.
I think it's vulnerable to it.
The hand doesn't like have hit points, right? It doesn't. It's not like
It doesn't say.
Okay.
No.
Because so when the creature sort of it crunches, there's like icicles that go flying, and it kind of it looks like if you were close to it,
Oh no.
it could be dangerous potentially.
Noted.
But I wasn't close
No,
enough
no, no.
to
Yeah,
it.
only if you're very close to it. They kind of chatters.
Noted. Okay. Orba's just gonna. She's done.
Okay.
She's done.
Excellent job.
Oh, thank you, friend.
All right. So the creatures kind of you can see the sort of icicles and things start to move, and they all kind of descend in this kind of like bat swarm. They all come moving in. And this one's going to go up to Graven, so is this one. They're just going to go after the closest target. We'll start with the one on Erland. And it's going to... They sort of reaches out with an icy claw and it kind of... 15 to hit.
It hits.
15 hits.
Oh boy.
Oh, dude, don't want to come.
Decide right now.
Okay.
Dice! Holy!
I'm gonna let it hit me.
You take 4 slashing damage. Oh, plus 1 cold damage. Just kind of comes across. The next one's Safira. So this one you see kind of flying in. 13 to hit.
13 misses.
13 misses. Great. So you see it kind of coming in. It just kind of swoops and you dodge
Nice.
out of the way of it.
Way to go.
And this one behind Graven here. 14 to hit.
14 misses.
14 misses. Great. So that one you've kind of fallen. You're prone though. So he gets a
Oh.
17 to hit.
Don't do that.
Yes, it hits.
You take 3 piercing damage, slashing damage, and 3 cold damage.
Whoa, Jesus.
Jesus.
So it
Okay.
reaches out with sort of an icy claw, and you're sort of still down on the ground, and you sort of put an arm up to try and defend yourself, but it sort of gets a piece of you. And then the other one's gonna swoop in, also on the ground. 13 to hit.
Misses.
Misses, right. So that one, you sort of bring up your shield, and it kind of clings off it. Great, that's them, I think. Just 4 of them.
Okay.
So you have to spend half your movement to get up out of prone.
That's fine. So I'm going to.
Are you doing that? Getting up off the ground.
Yeah, I'll
Okay,
get up.
great. So you just stand up.
So,
You're close enough to the stones that you can get up without it slipping.
As I'm standing up, and I saw what happened to Erland over there, I'm gonna speak a few words, and as a bonus action doesn't count towards movement or anything, right?
No.
Okay, I'll speak a healing word towards
Okay.
Erland over there. See within range, get 1d4 plus my spellcasting ability,
That's nice.
which is God, I always.
It should
My-
say on your spells page.
Yeah.
It should say it. on there.
Spellcasting ability says whiz.
Yeah. So your wisdom modifier.
Wisdom modifier is +2.
Yep.
Okay, so 1d4 +2. 4 total.
Okay.
I heal 4.
Yeah. So these are.
It's
What's the
like
healing
nothing.
word that you utter across the room?
Stay alive.
Sort of weirded out by his choice of words, but feeling
And then I'm going to. A quick question about
Yes.
this. So, any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of my sphere must make a dexterity saving throw. Let's say
What are you cast? I don't know what.
So, flaming sphere.
A flaming sphere. Okay.
Ooh.
Cool.
I can. Of course, I already used my bonus action.
You can use that to move it. Is that
I can
what it
use
is?
the
Yeah.
bonus action to move it, so that means I can't do that.
You've already used a bonus.
Bonus action. Okay.
Healing word was a bonus action.
Right. I'm gonna conjure a fireball right in between these two that are right next to
Noise.
it.
And does it stay there?
Yeah, it lasts for a minute.
I think if you stay next to it, it'll burn you.
But you can cast it like here, right? And that
Oh,
still
there,
touches
yeah,
both
yeah,
of them.
yeah,
Wise words, though.
Any creature
Don't
that
do
ends its turn. Yeah, that's true.
But
that's
no,
true.
I think you're good there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So
Within 5 feet of it, right?
Already into my
yeah. After my healing word, I've stood up and I've just grown out this ball of swirling flame out of my hands and just and push it right towards the wall there. Any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the sphere. So actually, nothing happens yet.
Not until they end their turn, yes.
But their turn will end after Safira, right?
No, their turn. That's why I think you can use the bonus action to ram it into them.
Exactly,
right? Yeah.
but I've already done that.
Oh no.
Although if they move away from it, you get to attack them. You get an attack of opportunity. So if they run
Just
from
me.
the flaming...
From the flame, I get.
No,
an
the flame
opportunity?
does not get an attack of opportunity.
But I'll
you
get a. Yeah, I've already done it.
Graven casts and then he's like,
Sphere. Okay, yeah, because that's it. Any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the sphere must make a dexterity saving throw, takes 2d6 fire damage on a failed, half as much on a successful. Bonus action, I can move it.
Okay.
Yep, just.
I mean, you can still, next turn, you can ram it into something.
Exactly, yeah. Alright, that's it.
Sort of, and it lights up the room there, so you see the sort of almost like sort of campfire effect with all the shining off of all the ice surfaces.
All right.
That's it for me.
All right. All right. I would like to panic first of all, and then I would like to, seeing that ice thing, the one next to Safira, seems focused on Safira. I'd like to quickly throw my dagger at it.
Right.
Hopefully, getting a sneak attack if I hit.
Yep.
Super. Oh.
Wow. This guy's no noob.
12 to hit.
12 hits.
Ooh. Okay. So I get sneak attack. So okay.
Oh my god.
9.
9 points of damage.
Piercing damage.
So
That's
you
great.
throw the dagger and it hits off, and it looks like a piece of its wing kind of gets slashed off.
And that was my dagger.
The dagger kind of clangs into the corner of the room.
I'd like to run sort of over past Erland to the yellow bowl.
Give me a dexterity saving.
Oh, boy.
Or no, an acrobatics check.
Oh boy. Oh, okay. 19.
Great, so you push off from the sort of stone disc and you kind of slide across the ice.
And then I'm just like, what do we do about this?
Kill the thing first. There's a guy like right next to him.
Right. Very good. As a bonus action, because I'm a rogue, I would like to realize that there's a thing there and take the dash action and move further away.
Where would you like to go?
Like down the hallway towards the blue one. Yeah. Good. I'm done. That's all.
Amazing.
So you see, like, slides up through and then moves.
So I like. Is that your turn?
Yeah, it's my turn.
So I like see him go and throw his back and quarterstaff's out and I'm going for us. A one-handed strike with a quarterstaff.
Make an attack roll.
What is that? Glare. Great question. 19 to hit.
19 hits. Roll for damage.
So it's 1d6. 5 bludgeoning damage.
Great. And then a little bit of snow and ice. Sorry, 5.
5 bludgeoning damage.
Great.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Whoa.
I mean, you hit it.
I mean, it looked like it knocked off a good chunk. It didn't do enough to kill him.
Yeah, no, I just want,
like.
like, did it seem like the bludgeoning was...
Yes, I mean, you gave it a good whack. Yeah.
Good. Great. Then I'm going to... okay, then I'm gonna just use... Bro. I'm gonna use my extra... I'm gonna use my martial arts to do a unarmed strike.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, nice. 22 to hit.
22 hits. Roll for damage.
Okay.
3 bludgeoning.
Great. So after the sort of quarterstaff, you go in for a fist, and it sort of it hurts your fist a little bit, but you get in, and it makes enough of an impact that it looks like someone like fell onto a sort of thin sheet of ice, and it makes that kind of spider web crack in the side of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
And I have 1 hand available. And then that's it.
Great. Safira.
Okay, so
You're
like seeing that what I predicted would happen
Begrudgingly pulled into
inevitably
combat.
happened, I am gonna ignore the guy that's next to me. So there are 2 guys that are like nearest.
One there, one there.
So which one's nearest to Orba? Probably that one.
The Orba's kind of 10 feet from all
She's
three
kind
of
of
us.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so seeing that she's kind of okay for the moment, I'm gonna take my bow and fire an arrow, like towards the one that's by Erland.
This one over here.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Great.
that one.
Good idea.
Just use the can.
Oh my god, natural one.
that miss.
Eight. So,
Yep. So you see it kind of tick, 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 hit a couple pieces of the ice and bounce around. Are you moving anywhere?
no.
Okay. Fuck. Orba. What about you?
Orba now scanning the crowd for a new target. Goes, Safira behind you! And shoots the hand to move over to the one nearest her.
How far can it move?
It moves, I believe, 30 feet, but let me double check.
30. Yeah, you can get to that one or the Erland one. These two, it can't get to.
Yeah, I want to get to the one closer to Safira.
Okay. Sort of moves across the ice.
Move to a different unoccupied space within range. Range 30 feet. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so it's moved there, and it's gonna then, as an action, crush that guy and try to restrain it. So strength saving throw.
Cool. 5.
Fails, so he takes 2d6.
Right?
4.
4. Great. Here's the hand kind of, and it starts to crush it. It manages to wriggle free, or does it grapple it on a?
It's restrained on a fail save.
On a fail. Great. So it's restrained. Great.
Yeah. No, baby, it is not a cantrip.
So you can see the hand kind of grasping, and you can see it sort of struggling to get out.
That's it.
Great. All right. Our icy friends here. This one, sort of not sensing any new targets, is gonna make an attack on Erland here with its icy claw. 11 to hit.
That misses.
11
Nice.
misses. Great. So kind of grabs, and as you kind of duck, and the claw hits the dome behind, and kind of. It doesn't break it. Makes a couple nice big scratch marks.
Okay.
This one here is restrained. He can still attack, but I think it's with disadvantage.
Yes, or you can use an action to try to break it.
Yes. So he's going to just try and make an attack rather than try and free himself.
Okay.
So he will do so. 14 to hit.
14 hits.
14 hits, great. So even through the fingers of that was a 14 and a 17. Through the
Jeez.
fingers of the grasping sort of hand, it manages to stick out a claw and get you. And you take 3 slashing and 2 cold damage. And then these two are both going to go right at Graven again.
Yeah.
No longer prone.
Mm-hmm.
8 to hit.
Misses.
Misses. And 14 to hit.
Misses.
Misses. Great.
Nice.
So the two of them kind of and you cling, kind of off your shield and things. And they kind of stay put for the most part for that.
I think if they end their turn, they get
Next to the thing, yes.
burninated.
Is that the last? Yeah, those are the last ones. So you sort of casting the ball behind them, they're in the middle of fighting. They don't really take notice to it because it hasn't affected them yet.
Yeah.
So now the burning heat kind of passes up. And what do they do there?
Dexterity saving throw.
It's got to work
One was
well against ice
was
people.
15 and 7.
All right. Well, 15 saves.
Okay.
7 fails.
7 fails. So what does he take?
2d6. 7 fire damage.
Great.
Gotta.
Great. So the flame kind of hits it, and you can see the ice melting off of the creature, and it kind of rattles, and you can see some of the now instead of sort of ice shards, water droplets are spraying everywhere as it sort of has melted down a bit. Great. That's it. Graven, you're up.
So that one that got hurt by the flame, which is what the one
This one.
there.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna just take a big swing with my mace.
Great.
Cool.
8.
8 misses.
Oh man.
All right. I'm getting frustrated with that. I'm gonna see now. It says I can move it and slam it into something.
Yep.
But if it's already right next to that thing,
But it won't take it until the end of its next turn. If you ram it now, it will take damage now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying is like, can I ram it next to one that it's already right next to? Like, can I ram it from there to that?
If you ram it into a creature, they have to make a saving throw against the sphere. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, missing and just.
Okay, so you summon the orb, and the orb kind of moves across the room. So he makes what kind of save is it again? I think it's
another. It just
dexterity,
make the saving. Yeah, dexterity again.
11.
It fails.
Yes.
Nice.
There we go.
Okay, 2d6 again. 9
Ooh,
fire damage.
Yeah.
Juicy.
Great, so the orb kind of passes through, and in doing so, it seems to like engulf the creature, and it kind of melts down into a puddle.
I guess it slams in, so I can't keep moving it, huh?
You can move it up to 30 feet.
Would that make it
That
to
was
the
only
one?
5 feet.
Would that make it to the one next to Erland?
Maybe. Oh no! If you the sphere stops moving if you ram something. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, and it's not next to that other one now anymore, is it?
No, now it's next to you.
Okay. Oh shit. Well, I guess I should move a little bit. I will move just one square over, so I'm now between these two.
Okay.
Okay.
Just scoots up a little bit.
That's it.
Okay.
Good job.
Shaleer.
All right.
Peeking out from the-
peeping out. I go, and the thing's still alive, and I run towards the one next to Erland.
It's still alive.
15, 20.
And I would like to try to stab it with my rapier.
Great. Make an attack.
I have a rapier.
Sweet.
Dope.
Ooh, 7 to hit.
7 misses.
Right. Shoot.
Goes in for a stab.
Yeah.
And glitters out.
Does your other hand go up when you attack?
He's trying to keep his balance on that.
Yeah, no, it's ice, exactly. All right, I would then like to use my bonus action to disengage as a rogue, and then I don't know, run towards.
What's your total movement? Because you moved 20.
Oh, right, all right. My is 30.
So you can move 10 feet away from the creature.
So I can move 10 feet away from the creature, and I'd like to do it in case it explodes.
Back towards your little hole here?
No, let's go towards the red thing. Yeah. No, I just, if that dome doesn't open,
great. Erland.
Erland's shaking his head again at this guy. Two-handed attack, quarterstaff, and he's gonna like spin it upwards and try and like uppercut it.
Ooh, I like it.
Give him a little chin
Little
music.
baton twirl.
22 to hit.
That hits. Roll for damage.
Love it. 7 bludgeoning damage.
7 bludgeoning damage. Great. So you sort of twirl and hit it up, and it kind of goes up, and it hits the ceiling and shatters into a bunch of pieces.
That's what you're looking for, right?
Yeah,
Is that what you're looking for?
That's what I was looking for.
And 2 left.
And then I guess, just for fun, I'm gonna use that extra unarmed strike and just try and punch the dome.
Great. Make an attack roll.
that dome.
Punch that dome.
Punch the
At
dome.
this point, we pissed off the ice enough.
You were rolling so fucking
Rolling really well.
Kidding?
23 to hit.
Roll for damage.
These dice have got
I mean,
to go.
he kind of
I know.
wasted a high roll on attacking an icicle dome.
Well, I couldn't reach anyone else.
You know.
2 natural ones.
5 bludgeoning.
Great. So you give it a good, and again, it gets that sort of spider web effect as it crashes in. I mean, it looks like you did pretty good damage to it. I mean, it's cracked.
Sweet.
Cool. It didn't push all the way through, but it's cracked.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great. Safira.
So, taking some inventory and noticing that people are just wailing on these things, I decide to.
Join the party.
I'm putting my bow behind my back, and I'm just getting up there. I'm just gonna throw like a punch at this one's head since it's
Sure.
restrained.
Make an
Don't
attack.
I get advantage? I think because it's restrained.
Yes,
That's
that
right
one
next
is
to me?
restrained. Nice.
Okay.
Is there a reason the sharks didn't hurt me?
20.
We'll get there.
Oh, okay.
23 to hit.
23 hits. Roll for damage.
Does it? Okay. It just does.
Critical as well. It's a natural 20, right?
Those are
Yeah,
natural
natural
20?
20,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So it's 4 damage.
Yeah, so your regulars +2?
Yeah.
Great. So yeah, 4 damage. So you give it you sort of put the bow away and give it a good punch. And yeah, it's sort of ice shards shattering off. You hit it up to the ceiling, that's why. And it's further than 5 feet away from you.
Swing upwards, friends.
It's only because you had a nice, juicy roll.
I can't believe that.
Anything else?
No.
I mean, that one's looking pretty beat up. It's got a number of sort of pieces hanging off of it as it's kind of moving around.
Shit.
Orba.
Yeah. I'm trying to see. No, I guess I can't with the hand move a creature away, which is kind of a bummer.
It's grappled.
Restrained.
Or it's restrained, yeah. If it's grappled, you can pull it, but if it's restrained, it's different.
Okay. Shit. Oh man. Okay. Orba's gonna smush him with her hand. But she's gonna. Can the hand like smoosh upward?
No, because it's kind of coming up out of the ground.
Yeah. Okay.
You'd be smushing it inward.
Can I smush it like flat to the ground, maybe?
Sure. Yeah.
That's not gonna do anything. You know. Make a.
Sure.
Oh wait, do I? What do I do when I attack again? Cause the hand to crush. Okay, you still do a strength saving throw.
Strength saving.
Yeah.
13.
That ties, so saves, right?
So saves, yes.
Okay, so he takes half of 2d6.
Great. Oh wait, he restrained though. He has disadvantage. What kind of
Strength.
So he automatically fails strength saving throws because he's restrained.
Oh, brilliant! Great.
Whoa,
Well, I just
awesome.
rolled 10 damage total.
Great. So you squeeze and
Safira duck.
and it smooshes it into the ground, but the shards kind of go flying. So Safira and Graven, I need you to make dexterity saving throws.
That's good.
19.
9.
And 9.
Sorry.
Graven, you take 4 slashing damage, and you take 2 slashing damage, half as much. So it's sort of,
Oh my God,
and the
Beezaura.
sort of shards come out from the fingers of the creature. Great. Anything else? Then this one's done.
Nice.
That one's dead. You have a flask, right? Is it like?
Does Orba want to ask that?
Okay, yeah. Erland, do you need a flask of some kind?
I have a flask.
I fucking hate you. I'm done with my turn. You're such a troll. You're
So the one remaining creature is sort of seeing his friends exploding, is going to sort of go into a panic, but he's going to make one more attack against Graven.
That he is.
7 to hit.
Misses.
Great. So it goes in, and you hold up the shield, and it sort of bangs off of it.
Nice.
And it is going to stay there.
It's funeral.
Shaleer.
It's
No, it's
Graven.
Oh, great. Never mind.
I'm gonna, yeah.
Bring the shield down.
Can I do both at the same time? Can I swing the mace and hit it with the fire at the same time?
Sure, but you have to roll for one first.
Yeah, that's true.
They won't hit at the exact same time.
Okay, I'll do the mace at first.
Great.
It's 22.
22 hits. Roll for down.
Ghostbusters. 8.
8.
Ghostbusters.
You take the mace and you give it a good swing, and why don't you show us how it's done?
Yes.
You're gonna be Leah colors because
Yeah, you're Leah.
Sweet. So with the fire
mace.
waiting in the wings, I put too much energy into that swing and to the side of the head, and it just disintegrates into particles of ice and flies into the wall.
Yeah. Nice. Good job.
And the creatures have been dispatched.
And as soon as I see that everyone's done, what did I tell you about the ice?
As soon as she says that, I punch the orb again.
Great, make an attack roll.
Can I find my dagger?
Yeah, you can go find me. It's over the Make an investigation check.
3 items.
Make an investigation check.
11.
11. Okay, you go over to the corner and there's some snow and ice, but you have an idea of where
Okay,
it was. You're
good,
able
good,
to locate.
22 to hit.
22 hits.
I regret not using my quarterstaff. 5 bludgeoning.
Great. You give it another one, and it looks like one more good strike.
Orba sends the hand over and make a poop.
I still have a flaming ball in the room.
There's a earthen hand and a flaming ball, and one guy punching an ice cube.
Erland, move out of the way a bit.
Oh.
I punch it again. 11 to hit.
And that hits. Roll it down.
6 bludgeoning damage.
Great. So the third one, you go in that same spot, and your accuracy is pretty good. And you give it a, and your fist breaks through, and it punches in through. And now you can kind of see it in there, and there's the little.
Great. So sort of.
Did you hurt yourself?
I take my flask out, and I unscrew the top. And I carefully dip it in.
Great.
Pull out a bunch of the yellow liquid.
Great. It has sort of a flowery scent to it, but and again, you didn't know this, but it has kind of a tingling sensation as it gets a little bit on your hand, but it doesn't hurt. Just kind of has an unusual sort of.
Redo up the top.
Great.
Put it in my cloak and start making my way back across the ice.
Sure.
As he's on his
No, go ahead.
As he's on his way, I'm gonna go and get the ram from the corner.
Sure.
And as I walk away, just to Safira, like, as you said, inevitable. It's going to happen anyway.
I never said that. I never said
You
that.
literally said the words inevitable, so.
Fuck's sake.
Get the ram and trumpet back.
Slowly, 1 foot at a time
Yeah.
with the ram.
All right. Well, hopefully.
Am I back? Or?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
great. That's dead now.
I move.
You go. Whoops.
Great. So I move. I move back, and did I see them pour it down? Did I see Orba pour the other thing in?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess like following
Room's
suit.
decently lit.
I sort of pull it out of my cloak. And I look at how do you pronounce her name? Shaleer.
Shaleer.
So I look at Shaleer and go, "You're sure?"
I'm sure that's what it says. I'm sure that's what it
You're
says.
sure this is the room of?
The Chamber of Arbitration.
You're sure this is the Chamber of Arbitration?
I am sure that it says that this combination leads to the Chamber of
I'm
Arbitration.
sort of holding eye contact with him. I pour the yellow down the drain.
Right.
Haha! No, just kidding.
I've got the ram again, and I'm like,
And you pour it in. It circles it a little bit. It starts to fill in. Nothing happens for a moment. And then, after a moment, again that sort of grinding sound, sort of stone on stone. And you hear a little... And the basin itself starts to move a little bit.
With us on this.
You're not hanging onto the basin.
Well, no, but I mean, like, isn't it part of the stone in the middle?
No. It's separate. Like, there's a bunch of stones. And it moves. And it reveals a hole in the ground. And you look down into it, and it's icy. It's like a chute. Like an ice chute.
So like ice shoot. Well, who's going first?
I could go first.
No,
No,
no.
please.
Why?
No,
I just want
and I'm gonna step up to the hole and just stomp down the chute.
Okay.
Do you want some light? Okay, bye.
She's in there.
No,
So
I
you
can
hop,
see in the dark.
You hop down the chute,
Yeah.
and you start to slide. And the surface is smooth, but you can feel kind of the cold nipping at sort of the seat of your pants,
Yeah.
and as you're touching the sides. I mean, it's about 4 feet wide, maybe a little less than 4 feet
Okay,
wide.
so
So it's a
I'm
decent
wide.
hole. Well, 4 feet wide.
Oh,
all the way, yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, it's not huge, but, you know, and you're sort of touching and you're moving down. And there's a steep incline for a couple of seconds as you sort of whoosh down the chute, and then it levels out very quickly. So, whoosh, and then when you slide for a little bit, the momentum kind of taking you through the tunnel, you see a little bit of light at the end. And it grows closer as you're sliding. I mean, you can't really stop yourself. It's very slippery.
I'm not gonna try.
And you and you land in a brightly lit room that's sort of in a soft sand dune that you've landed into. And in this room, sort of in contrast to the previous cavern, it's not blisteringly hot, but it's humid. It has kind of a sort of a full heat, like you've been in a kitchen all day with the windows closed. It has this kind of like full heat to it. And you look around and it's mostly sandy. There's a few sort of rocky crags. And there's walls, there's stone walls, so it's like it's a rectangular room, but the floor is sand, rocks, earth.
And do I see? There's no one in this room.
Not that you know.
Do I see any like symbols?
There's a very large stone tablet in the center of the room that has a number of symbols on it.
And it's a primordial. I can't read it.
You can tell it's primordial. You can't.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm gonna. So I take inventory.
So you guys all just are
Just looking down the hole.
Yep.
Safira?
Why don't we all go in like relatively at the same time? I can cast that spell. in
Do
case we
not
fall.
go in at the
you
same
can
time.
Can
She
we?
hear
Are you
it's,
happy?
Can
you
I
can
not?
hear voice. It was a decent shoot. I mean, you went down.
Oh, I
and,
thought it was like a. Oh,
No,
okay.
no. I mean, you can hear noise, but it's hard to have a conversation through
So
that.
if I shout down the slide, Safira,
You can hear noise. You can't hear what he's saying. You can't make out the words, but you can hear noise coming
If we
through.
all go down at the same time, I can cast a spell and it'll stop us from falling quickly if it ends up just dropping us into outer space.
I'll go in front, you right behind me.
Okay.
All right?
Would you like to get behind me?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
I'll take up the rear.
Okay. I have my crystal out and ready, so we all.
I'm gonna hold the ram like this.
Yeah.
Like,
You went down first.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, very quickly, yeah.
and all of you, same sensation. You feel sort of cold on your back as you're sort of sliding through, but you shoot and sort of, and you pop out. You see them coming out behind, and they kind of land, and they kind of land next to you one at a time.
On top of each other. Ooh!
Yeah, relatively.
Oh!
As Graven lands, holding the ram, it's kind of like.
Sand out of our eyes.
Sorry, I'll get off, Graven.
it's alright.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, what is it, Safira? What is going on?
Well, it looks like we have another set of instructions from our friend.
Allow me. Can I read the
Sure. You
primordial?
walk up to it, and as you're walking up to it, you also notice in the four corners of the room, there's 4 pitch black, sort of shining obsidian slates, or like obsidian rocks that are in each corner of the room, maybe like 4 feet tall. And the message in the room, you look at the slate.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Can I go bip at one of the black things in the corner?
And in addition to the instructions,
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
This is literally a skipper.
Okay.
Wow.
One column shown here. Oh.
Yeah, it does.
All right. I think I should just explain what it says and just tell you exactly what it says.
Okay.
It says an obsidian slate will show 4 symbols.
you can see the obsidian slates in each corner of the room.
Only one column shown here has all 4 symbols that appear on the obsidian slate. Press the symbols on the obsidian slate in the order that they appear from top to bottom within the column. Be quick about it. When you wish to begin, speak the primordial digits, which I won't speak yet.
Say it one more time, just to make
Alright.
sure everybody knows.
Press the symbols on the obsidian slate.
So the obsidian slate's going to light up with 4 symbols. You're going to have 4 symbols are going to appear on the slate.
This is in the middle of the room.
No, the 4 obsidian slates are in the corners.
Okay.
Press the symbols on the obsidian slate in the order that they appear from top to bottom within the column. So there's all these columns.
Yes. So the person looking at the slate has to tell you in the middle of the room, or someone in the middle of the room, the symbols that appear.
All right.
You have to figure out
Oh god.
order in which they appear.
Oh god. Wait, what?
So the slates have nothing on them right now.
No. When he speaks the word, one of the slates is going to appear with 4 symbols.
Just one.
Yeah.
From top 4. 1, 2, 3.
You have to describe to someone here in the center
Okay.
Oh.
what
What
4
it looks
symbols
like.
you see.
From top.
And why
And the
would
person in the middle has to tell you what symbols appear first, second, third, and fourth, top to bottom in the columns he's looking at.
We're telling him symbols, he's relaying the order of the symbol in the column, and then we press
And then
it.
you
Everyone
touch
needs to go to a column.
Okay,
Yes? Yes.
to a
Everyone
slate of obsidian.
Everyone should go to a slate.
yes.
And then I'll say the digits, and one of the slates will show us things.
Uh-huh.
And you say which things it says, and I'll look at the columns, and I'll figure out which column has all the things that you described.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll press them in the order that they appear.
Yes, it's a puzzle.
You press. We don't press.
No,
People
we
on the
press.
slates
We
press.
press.
Oh, you press in the order that they appear here, but only one of them. Oh God. All right.
Okay.
Keep a clear head.
This is going to require quite a bit of trust. So, Shaleer,
He's done this much.
He's the only one who could speak.
What I was going to say is I appreciate how much you've helped us thus far, and I'd appreciate you getting us out of here safely.
Yes. I don't think I gained anything from
I don't think
killing
you
you.
do either.
So
Do we?
I shall
Can we take
endeavor.
a look at the symbols on the?
Sure, yeah. You can see that,
I
yeah.
can see this.
So that is on the thing in the
The thing in the
center?
center, yep. There's 6 columns.
And when I speak the primordial, the slates will.
One of the slates will appear.
One of the slates will appear.
There's 4
And
symbols.
then the person who's
Is there a
at
top
that
or bottom?
slate.
Is there a top or bottom?
There is, yes, I gave
Oh,
it
no.
in, here, I'll say it.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. You have it right. This is correct. So.
Okay,
There's
great.
a bigger gap at the bottom.
Great.
Okay.
So only one of the obelisks is going to have
4 symbols will appear on
symbols.
it.
Alright,
Okay.
everyone take.
You have to describe the symbols to the person, whoever it is, in the center of the room.
Mm-hmm.
They have to pick the column that has those 4 symbols tell you which order they are, and you, at the slate, press the correct order.
Press them in the correct order.
Because there's some. Okay.
But there's going to be some symbols that don't show up.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
only one column here has all the 4 symbols that will appear on the slate.
Right.
Or it goes to a slate.
Why wouldn't the person in the center just look at the thing?
They're too far away.
Oh, they're too far away.
I'm gonna go to the slate that's like kind of across the room
Sure.
from
You
me.
can do it. And it's kind of sandy. You kind of sort of working like that.
I go to one nearest him.
And Erland, sort of still wrapping his head around what in God's name he has to do, takes the last one.
We can give you.
As long as he
I
understands
got one
it,
too,
I think.
right?
Yeah, you got one too, presumably.
Yeah.
If you trust me in the middle.
Do you want to just...
Oh yeah, they're down hallways. Oh no.
Someone can appear in an
Yeah,
order.
so say.
So
say
here's
you
where
hit
this one in the middle now.
This
moved.
one,
So,
this one,
yeah.
and this one. He's going to tell you to hit that one first, then that one, then up. This determines the order. That we
Yes, yes, yes.
Down here, I can move.
All right.
It's more.
Bigger gap on the top. Bigger gap on the.
Bigger gap on the
Yes.
bottom.
There you
Bigger
go.
gap on the bottom.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Should we come up with some?
All right, yeah,
agreement
that's a
on
great
what these
idea.
are?
That's a very good idea. All right, so this is okay. A plus.
Yes.
Are we going to come up with names for all of these
Yes.
There's a lot of them.
Yes.
Just be descriptive.
We have to do.
Well,
This has to happen.
perhaps
quickly.
we can come up with names for the weirder ones, like this one. It's a doobly doo.
No. 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 No.
Shaleer's kind of pointing, and Graven's like, no, we're not.
No.
We're not.
No.
Shadowed circle.
Very good.
Like, Shadow Circle. Much better than Doodly Doo.
Hourglass.
Oh yes.
Yes.
I see that.
Hourglass.
Yes, but see, if you had said that when the thing lit up, I would know it was that.
No. You need to be clear on this.
I'm not going to remember any of these things. that
You'll
you
have
say.
a general idea. Hourglass. Column. Self-explanatory. Circle dot.
Nipple.
Downward. Sure. Nipple.
Nipple. Ah, yeah. All right.
Square nipple.
my
Square nipple.
Square nipple is different from square. Circle and shadowed circle.
I'm not there.
Shadowed circle.
Can we get a
Yes.
new name for the doubly do?
Doobly doo is.
Now you
It
remember.
looks.
It's a melting mace.
Can I-
It's a mace.
Can I repitch
the
doobly doo
staff-
because
No.
we remember it is the thing.
It's a crooked mace. Look at it. It's got
Right.
the ball on the end. And
Oh,
the handle.
it is a mace. Yes.
Crooked mace.
Crooked mace.
And that thing with the diamonds?
This.
What about the grumpy face on the top right?
That's grumpy face.
Grumpy face.
Yes. What are you talking about, Safira? Diamonds.
Fear's lost it. This is what happened.
What are you talking about? This?
That's an X.
It's an X with 4 dots.
X with 4 dots.
See,
All right,
yes,
all right,
I could
all
have
right.
just described it as.
Now, look, wait. Wavy lines and jagged lines.
It's an approximate
Wavy,
sign.
wavy,
it
jagged.
means something, actually. It's
You know, this is actually probably quite offensive to the genies that are listening. This is probably, now that I realize
Focus,
it,
everyone,
these are
focus.
all special symbols
We-
that we are degrading moment to moment.
Look, I think we've already degraded.
I think we've got it,
Considerable.
Graven. I think you should have a little confidence.
One of them
Wait.
means like mother of my mother. Doodly Doo.
The true name of God.
Have we sufficiently degraded a sacred language?
No,
We have not,
yet.
alright.
There are different triangles. Upside down, empty triangle. I don't know why you're not taking this more seriously. We could all die in this room.
You made me get my
Goliath, one of the triangles is filled in and the other is not.
Yes. Filled in diamond.
You're just,
4 diamonds.
You're just describing the objects now.
I know. I want it to be clear. Okay, the important ones are frowny face, crooked mace, and this one. Circle with an.
Is there anything that indicates that we do in fact have a time limit on
I'm
this?
The instructions say to be quick.
I'm
once
walking
we
away.
start. All right.
walking away to this one.
Who's going where? Graven's at this one?
I'm going to the one next to Graven in case he has a total stroke.
I'm trying to keep us all alive.
You're trying to keep us alive.
Grumpy face. Crooked face.
Grumpy face.
Grumpy face.
All right. Yes. Right.
Oh yeah, grumpy bit.
Yes.
Hips. Column.
Hips.
It's an hourglass.
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 It's an hourglass.
Hourglass
You messed up your own.
Hourglass hips. Very good. All right. Are you ready? Is everyone at their column?
Not at all, but we need to do this.
Yes. Here we go. 1 second. Translation. Dun prak.
Great. So as he speaks the words, there's sort of a rumbling noise. And in the center of the room, sort of on the other side of this thing, there's a sort of column rising up out of the ground. And it starts, as soon as it gets up out of the ground, you can see that underneath the sort of cover is a cage. So there's a sort of creature in this cage that's slowly rising up out of the ground.
Okay.
So he speaks the words, and Orba, you standing at your thing, it appears,
I got it.
and these 4 symbols sort of appear in a greenish sort of glow.
Who sees the words?
Okay, my friend, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, it's a hollow circle.
Okay.
Okay, and then a hollow triangle with the point going upward.
You're holding it upside down. White part goes top.
Okay.
Yep.
God.
Okay, it doesn't matter. It's all okay. So it's the hollow circle,
Yes.
and then the hollow triangle point going downward.
I don't know that symbol.
Hollow triangle, hollow
There's a
equilateral
triangle? An equilateral triangle with the point going downward. Yes, of
Point
course.
going down.
That makes sense. I'm sorry. Yes, I see it. Yes. Keep
hollow
going.
square,
Yes.
and then the thing that kind of looks like a power button with an arrow.
I don't know what a power button is, but yes. All right. Press the downward facing triangle.
She does so.
The hollow one. Then the hollow square.
She does so.
Then the hollow circle.
She does so.
And then the power button.
She does so.
Right. And the lights go out on that one, and they appear on Graven.
Oh no!
Power button.
Yes.
Circle. Excuse me. Power button. Square nipple.
Yes.
Empty square.
Yes.
Asterisk.
Yes.
The column continues to rise.
Press the asterisk.
Asterisk.
Press the empty square.
Empty square.
The power button.
Power button.
The square nipple.
Square nipple.
Great. And the thing goes away. And Erland appears past that down to Erland. White thing goes on top.
White thing goes on top.
4 symbols appear.
Asterisk.
Yes.
A circly arrow.
What?
An arrow in a circle?
What's a circle arrow? Oh, yes, I see. Yes.
A square nipple.
Yes.
And a diagonal arrow with a line on top of it.
Absolutely, I see it. Okay, press the circly arrow.
Yes.
And then the diagonally arrow with the line.
Yes.
And then the square nipple.
Yes.
And then the asterisk.
Yes.
And the column continues to
Oh
rise in the middle.
Can we like run back to? I should probably stay.
Yes, I said. There's a very large creature coming out of the ground, by the way. What?
It's an up arrow and a down arrow with 2 lines above it.
Yes.
It's the doobly-doo.
Yes.
It's a filled-in square.
A what?
A filled-in square.
Okay, very good, very good.
And then it's 2 squiggly lines on top of one another.
Yes. All right. Press the arrows with the lines, the up and down arrow.
I press it.
And then the squiggly lines.
I press it.
And then the doobly-doo.
And then the doobly-doo.
And then the filled-in square.
And as you press it, the light goes out, and the column in the middle stops moving. And it's about like a little past halfway, and you can see inside it looks like an earth elemental is inside, and it's like banging sort of against the cage, but it looks like it didn't get up enough out of the ground to get released, but so it's kind of like
Orba smugly turns around at Graven with a big grin on her face. See how well that went?
Excellent. I'm so glad. Come on. Let's go.
Temper that enthusiasm.
She shoves him.
you look around, and sort of on the far end this way appeared sort of some of the sand trickles away, and there's a door there. Go back to the irregular game.
Oh my god.
Erland, being fairly close to it, sort of strafes past checks out the earth elemental. Anything of note with the cage that seem, or does it seem?
I mean, it
pretty
seems
secure?
like the beast is kind of like pounding against the bars, but it seems to hold. It doesn't.
And there's nothing in the cage in addition to the earth elemental?
Not that you can
Great. So I'm going to squeeze past it, and I'd like to listen carefully at the door. Is there anything?
Make a perception check.
Nat 20.
Put your ear up to the door, and a little bit of it's difficult because the earth elemental is kind of making a little bit of a racket, but you can hear some quiet voices that sound like they're talking to each other.
Do they sound like they're very close to the door or far away from the door?
It sounds like a lot of voices, so it's hard to tell. Yeah, several, more than 2 voices. Yeah.
There are several voices on the other side of this door. Does that mean anything to you?
It means that there are people there? What are you saying? I didn't...
Alright. I'm gonna very carefully try and crack the door to just see inside a little bit.
I'm staring at the earth elemental the whole time.
Right, and it's kind of rattling.
So I just want to look in and just like a little bit so I can see if I can identify the voices without interrupting their conversation.
Sure. You peek in. You trying to do it pretty quietly?
Yeah, I don't want them to hear me. I
stealth
want to
check.
hear what they're,
Jesus.
23.
23, great. So you crack the door open a little bit.
Messed up.
Just very quietly peek your way in, and there's 2 rows of tables, like small tables about this size, and 2 people sitting at each table.
No.
And it's on the left side and on the right side, like all the as far as you can see down, table, and 2 people at each table. So quite a few people. And they're quietly talking in a language that you've heard a little bit of today. It sounds like it's primordial that they're talking.
So it's several like 2 tops all in a row.
Yeah, it's like table here, table here, like tables all the way down.
Okay.
Like almost like a cafeteria or something, like quite a few.
So roughly how many people are in the room?
There are at least 30, 40 people. I mean, you can't peek all the way down, but there's rows of people going.
Do they seem to be Genasi or genies?
They look like they could be. They have sort of different colored skin. Some of them have kind of light blue skin. Some of them have like a darker green skin. Yeah.
And I can't overhear for anything from the closest couple of people talking by any chance?
You can hear them speaking a little bit, but again, it's not in the language.
Right, of course. Sort of keeping it. Can you understand conversational, whatever this language that you've been reading is?
I think so.
I'm gonna bring him to the door.
Comes up to the door. Make a stealth check as well.
Oh, yeah. 20.
Nice.
So he goes up to the door, and the 2 of you you push it a little bit to allow him to get nice and close. And you peek in, and it seems like they're having a chat about a game of chess. And you hear one of them sort of say, sort of like, I capture your pawn, things like that, sort of talking about the game. And you're looking, you peek in, and it was sort of difficult to see because it was close to the table, but it looks like every pair of people all along are all playing a game of chess with one
Do
another.
any of them look like light whistle pieces?
The chess pieces?
Do they look like light whistle chess pieces
Make a
at all?
perception check.
16.
They're gold, and they shimmer a little bit. It's hard to tell from here if there's more to it. They're gold chess pieces.
Every single chess piece
That
in this
you
room
can
is
see
gold.
currently.
The
yes.
light whistle ones were gold with the green
With an
emerald.
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 As soon as I see a room full of Genasi, I push the door open and start walking out.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And he moves in. And as you come in, a number of the people closest to the door, kind of in the middle of their game, they sort of look up,
Hello?
and then they look back and they return to their game. And they don't really regard you.
Hello?
I come up behind you and just grab you by the shoulder.
Stop. But this is me. They're like me.
Do you know them personally?
No, but they're like me.
Shh. Quiet. This could be an illusion. The whole thing could be an illusion.
And they continue to play, even though you guys are having this quiet conversation, sort of quietly and politely. And they're all wearing pretty fine clothes, a number of fine robes. And
Is there another door maybe on the other end?
it looks like there's a opening between the rows of tables, so you can walk down the center,
Jesus.
and it looks like it goes off to the right, so you can see it go down for a while. And you have to follow this.
I think we should not disturb any of
I
these
agree.
people before we realize what is going on here.
Yes. Figure out what is going on. Yes, you're right.
And stay away from those chess pieces.
Why? What? Why?
Well, they're gold, my
They're
friend.
gold.
Oh, no.
I don't want you to take them.
Well, trust me, I'm better than that. I wouldn't steal something they're playing with.
I don't know you.
Sort of quietly to them, it's like, I think the Goliath is right. I'm just guessing, but I have a hunch that we're going to have to pass a series of tests of some sort.
I'm very good at
It
tests.
seems like we've already done some of that, but yeah.
I agree.
Let's go
Okay.
slowly.
Can I
As you
walk?
tell us if you hear anything that they're saying of note.
They're playing chess. They're talking about pawns and rooks.
All right. Well, if anything else comes up, let us know.
All right.
So is it sort of like single file? Like, are you leading the way, and then we're kind of going?
It's wide enough to walk two next to each other.
Honestly, I think I'm so fascinated by each of them I see that I'm like, oh, this one has this color hair and this one has markings like this or whatever. That you need to drag me.
All right, yeah, I'll keep my hand on his shoulder, and the two
And
of us.
I mean, you're seeing like all kinds of water Genasi, earth Genasi, fire Genasi, all these different wearing very beautiful regal outfits, and they're all kind of playing this game, and they really don't regard you as you.
Have you never seen one of your own, friend?
No.
Bless you.
That's
You've never met another Genasi?
No. We're not like a people. My family isn't like me.
Oh. So your parents aren't Genasi as well?
No, my parents are human. They look like humans. They are humans. They are normals. They were just scribes. They sold me to the king because I looked amazing. And now look at this. Look at this.
I understand that you're excited, but I really don't think that we
This
should.
is probably an illusion of something you want. What you actually want is probably beyond these walls, friend.
You'd like.
What do you mean it's probably an illusion? Are you an illusion? Are you an illusion?
You walk up to someone.
Yeah.
They sort of looking up. They look up for their game, and like one looks up, and then a few more look up, and then it seems like there's this kind of ripple effect as a few more look, and they all look up.
Fucking look at me!
Stop! I'm
Oh,
gonna like put my
Shaleer.
hand over his mouth. You have to, with my hand still here. You have to stop. I know that this is unbelievable and like nothing you've ever seen, but we need to get out of here. We are still in danger.
All right.
Do you understand?
Yes. I know. Yeah.
Okay. I'll take my hand away slowly.
All right.
Okay. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Let's see where this door goes.
Yes. No, we don't see a door yet.
You're through the door. Yeah.
Oh, let's see where this
alongside.
this hallway
I was
leads.
gonna say we don't see another
bending
door
hallway.
yet. We're still going.
Now that we're walking through it and rather close, they're light whistle chess pieces, aren't they?
Some of them have emeralds on top. Some of them have other gemstones on top.
Oh my
There's ones with
God.
purple gemstones, looks like amethyst. There's some that have sort of a garnet color. Some that have like, there are a
Would
few
we
different-
know if those are part of any other like?
You haven't heard.
Yeah.
of them.
Okay.
Oh my god. Yeah, nobody.
Do you recognize any of these chess pieces?
The king would play chess sometimes.
With gold chess pieces?
I don't know, ivory, soapstone, ebony, all sorts of chess sets. Why?
Beezaura would fail this test.
I know. I'm glad she's not
A
here.
friend of ours.
Well, maybe she wouldn't. We don't know what happens at the end of that hallway.
I'm keeping my eyes open for an open seat. Is basically what I'm looking for.
I've still got my hand on his shoulder and still guiding him down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Orba's bringing up the rear behind you.
You guys move down the hall.
Mm-hmm. And they're sort of
Are you
dragging
doing
me.
so quietly, or are you just kind of making your way down?
Slowly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like it's very frustrating that they're not like
Yeah.
acknowledged.
They don't really. I mean, they did when you yelled at them, but they went right back to their game. I mean, they're not sort of.
What's above us? Is it just like a...
Seems to be like a. There's walls and a ceiling that seem to be marble. It seems like a fine sort of marble. It's not like open. It's a long sort of marble hallway. Yeah, it has kind of the look of a mess hall, kind of. Yeah, just a really nice one.
So we proceed.
So, yeah.
Keep going.
You guys-
Yeah.
Each time he kind of stops a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit, I just like
I'm like, oh, that one looks like my gnome.
I know.
You guys continue to move.
Are there any...
Can you tell if it's an illusion? Can one of you tell if it's an illusion?
The fact that they're not regarding us in any way.
Who knows? Maybe they
looked at him when he talked.
Not in any way. Yeah.
How many people do you think wander through this place?
So,
Maybe this is where I belong.
remember that these walls have kept you trapped for the past century.
Because I was told I was not a good enough genie.
One of them, right?
Yeah.
And they're not looking at you now?
Right.
Orba.
I think you might not be welcome here.
I think it's not so much that. I dare to say that this is a test. What was that?
I cannot detect magic. I would try, but I cannot. I'm sorry. Please keep walking with us. And
I
Orba,
believe it's a test. You can pass it.
Orba grabs his hand, which is like the first time she's ever really like touched anybody. So she grabs his hand and like nods. Please.
All right. You guys continue to walk.
Keep walking.
And the hallway sort of curves off to the right. More and more tables appear. More and more Genasi. And sort of at the point where it seems like you've made about a 90-degree turn, I mean, the hallway kind of turns off. At the end of this hall are two large, they're not thrones so much, but large seats at the end of this hall, the end of all these rows. And there's two genies sitting in these seats. There's one with deep red skin, sort of he's shirtless, and he has a shimmering kind of green skirt, a number of loose-fitting sort of bangles, anklets, and necklaces. This looks like an Ifrit, sort of lord of fire Genasi, fire elementals. And then the other chair, pale yellow skin, these big sort of enormous arms and hands that almost seem disproportionate to the rest of its body. And has this orange robe that has at least 6 or 7 belts that kind of go around it, and it has sort of gemstones in these belts, sashes and belts, sort of this ornate kind of look. And this is a Tao. This is a Earth Elemental, Lord of Earth Elementals, genies. And they're sitting at the end of this hallway.
Do all the chess games that we walk past, are they all at different points in the game, or does it all look like the exact same game?
They don't all look exactly the same.
Okay.
And they're not all like moving in unison. Yeah.
Okay.
They seem, as far as you can tell, they are having individual games of chess.
And we've at this point passed 100.
Yeah, I mean, you walk by. It maybe not on. Oh, yeah,
100
counting both sides.
individuals.
Yeah, individuals. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. At least, yeah. You guys continue to move. And you see these at the end, and they seem like they're watching you guys sort of come down. Is there anything before you sort of reach out to them?
Do you recognize either of these entities? Never met any. No. That is a Tao. Okay. Well, you may be the only one who can speak with them.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. So are we like kind of in the throne room kind of area now?
If you want to call it that. It doesn't seem like a throne room,
Right,
but
but where
sure.
are they?
At the end of this hallway, yeah.
Can I kind of seeing that they're both in the thrones? I'm gonna kneel and kind of like bow.
How close do you get before you do that?
Like within sight of them. I don't want to like walk up to the throne, but I like within where they can see me. I'm just gonna bow.
Safira takes a few steps sort of ahead of the group and gets down to bow. And the reddish skin, the Ifrit, sort of seems to like sit up in his chair, and he puts like a hand on one of the rests.
This must be the imposter.
And he sort of gives a finger and he curls it forward.
So I kind of like lift my head from the bow and like walk towards him.
You spoke our tongue, but you are not one of us. Who are you?
No one, sir. I had a friend who taught me the language.
And he sort of looks to the creature next, and they sort of exchange a glance together.
We understand this too.
Are they
but
speaking?
He's speaking in common.
And he's
speaking to her in
regarding
common.
straight to
regarding
Safira.
Safira.
Okay.
Who are you?
My name is Safira. I'm a ranger, and we stumbled into this excavation accidentally.
Every creature who's ever come here sought our treasure. Why should I believe you?
We didn't seek your treasure. We solved your puzzles. We chose not to take the path that would have led us to your treasure. We don't want your treasure, we just want out.
Make a persuasion check.
Fuck. Oh, Lord. 5.
5. He sort of gives you a look, and again looks to the Tao next to him. And he sort of scowls, and he sort of snorts a little bit, and sort of a puff of smoke comes out his nostrils. And he sort of looks past you to the rest.
Come close.
I'll step out first.
Who are you?
I am Graven.
I do not know the name.
you search my mind?
No.
Well, then I will tell it. We desire nothing of yours here. We only want to leave this place with no conflict.
You said, search your mind. Do you possess this power? Are you a light whistle?
No.
Make a persuasion check.
Don't look like a light whistle. I don't know what you are.
And now he leans back, and the Dow leans forward, with sort of lightish skin.
You, come close.
You do, and I bow with all of my years of experience of
Make a
bowing.
performance check.
I'm apparently very nervous about it because I roll a 3.
Well, you give a bow, and you're sort of trying to give a bow that you think is appropriate to the culture, but you don't know it. I mean, you don't know this culture, so you sort of do a sort of half-assed version of it that sort of doesn't, only approximates it.
How did you like your cage?
I did not.
Did you learn?
Maybe, yes.
You have done well. You brought them to us, as we requested.
Yes.
That is not nothing. Come closer.
I walk closer to the Dow.
You've earned a reward. I will give it to you now. You must decide. Either you may join us.
And she holds out a hand, and one of the pairs at one of the chess tables, one of them sort of gets up, tucks the sort of tunic robe underneath, gets up, and sort of politely walks down around the corner, leaving an empty, vacant seat.
You may join us, or you may have your freedom. I will send you away, anywhere you want to go. And you will be free. The king is dead. It is just you. A beach. A house. A lake. A mountain. Where do you wish to go? Or you may join us.
What will happen to them?
That is for us to decide. And is not your concern.
Can I make eye contact with him as this is happening? I'm
Sure.
kind of making eye contact, and I'm just gonna give him like a nod, like you have, like trying to communicate you have permission to do whatever you're gonna.
Real quick, what do we know of the light whistles? We know that
What
they
do you
were,
know?
huh? Like based on like
Any information that you know.
Yeah,
You
we
know
know that
that
they're
it's-
judges from Gran Crusada. Do we know
They're
that
Asimars. It's a race
they're
of people.
exclusively Asimars?
As far as
so
you know.
why would they ask if he was a light whistle?
They probably stole all these pieces for them. That's
But
how
like,
they,
if they're only Asimars, why would he ask? If
Well,
you were
he
a light
asked
whistle?
if
He said
he
you
said
don't
you
look like a light
can like
whistle.
read his mind and shit.
Look like
Like,
My whole life I haven't been allowed to belong. And when I came here, you didn't allow me to belong. I want to go to the mountains.
It is so.
And he snaps, and he disappears. Gone. In an instant. And it's just you remaining in the room.
Not light whistles, you say?
You could stay.
You can stay there.
What do you want with the light whistles?
The light whistles stole from us many, many years ago. I want it back.
What do you want back?
Look to each other.
We made a deal. The light whistles are very in tuned with their god. Their gods have the power to control minds, alter memories. We wanted that power. So we made a change. We gave them chess pieces that contained souls. Gold chess pieces with green emeralds. They took the pieces
And they did not give us the power. And they made the chess pieces into a game, mocking us. And I want my pieces back.
They contain souls.
Souls of whose souls?
That is not information for you.
Kind of leans forward, and sort of more smoke billows out of his mouth.
Imposter.
What if I told you we had a common enemy?
I would not believe you.
I'm gonna pull out the dead Asmar's ring, the light whistle ring. I'm gonna hold it up.
And he holds out kind of a big red hand.
I took this from the hand of a dead light whistle.
One that you killed.
One that I found.
That does not make us common enemies.
It does if I tell you that the light whistles have been trying to attack us as far as we know.
Make a persuasion check.
9.
He kind of looks at you, looks at Safira, looks at Graven.
I have no reason to trust you. You are not of elemental blood.
And he looks at you.
You've been quiet. What's wrong with you?
I'm just in awe that I'm in your presence. And she, gets down on 2 knees and, sits on the ground.
Get up. Why did you come here if not to take our treasure?
Literally, we fell through a hole.
I don't believe you, so make me.
There was a hole, we fell through it. I don't know how else to convince you. We were driving on a road, the road was made of slats. The slats gave way when a giant, I'm not kidding, a giant fell through the hole. We fell through the hole with it. I literally...
We spoke the words only because we thought they were a way forward. We had no idea that it was a way inside.
We were trapped in a cave with a giant. We did the only thing that was in front of us, which was to say the words, which I happened to know because my trainer taught me.
Who is the trainer?
Tell him. Now.
Watchy Thoreau.
He thinks for a moment, and he kind of sits up. And he looks like he's about to speak when someone comes from down the hallway. One of
behind
these,
us.
Yeah, behind you. Sort of, they look like one of these Genasi in a nice,
Rings been put away.
yeah, nice white robe, reddish skin. Looks like it might be a fire Genasi. He's sort of holding his hands. He walks up. And he sort of walks right through you guys. He almost pushes by you without regarding you at all. He walks right up to the Ifrit.
Mm-hmm.
There's someone at the entrance who says they know something about the light whistles and the chess pieces. And he sort of...
Who is it?
A halfling and a human woman. And he sort of leans in.
Can we,
Bring the halfling.
can we hear this?
Yeah, you can hear this. Speaking calm in this room.
They are friends of ours.
They
They are
watched
only-
us fall through the hole.
They're
They'll
only
tell you the
trying to
same
help us
story.
get out.
And the fire Genasi kind of holds a hand up. The human woman is negotiating. She'll allow the halfling in, but she wants someone in return. The half-elf, the man. He sort of leans in.
You believe that this halfling has some knowledge?
And the fire Genasi kind of shrugs.
Friend of yours?
Yeah.
What does she know of the light whistle?
What do you want from the light whistles?
Not important.
Extremely important.
I want my pieces back.
You want all your pieces back.
The originals. The ones with the souls.
Did they fabricate more pieces after the originals you gave them?
Yes. They made a mockery of it. Turned it into a little club.
We've got one in our possession for you.
Does the halfling know where to get them?
I do.
And he looks to the fire Genasi.
Bring the halfling. Get rid of the elf.
He sort of reaches out and grabs you by the arm. Sort of nods in the other direction. He waits to... He doesn't pull you yet.
No, I let him.
Okay. He guides you sort of down the hallway, and the three of you watch Erland walk.
All the way down the hallway?
Yeah, you walk on the hallway.
Are there, on the last chess piece table, are there any discarded emerald pieces that are off to the side in a place that could potentially be snagged?
Oh my God.
Make a perception check.
Perception is 13.
13. At this point, the games have kind of progressed a decent bit. So pieces have been captured, and there are pieces off to the side on a number of boards. Again, they're not all emerald. Some of them are.
Yeah, one with an emerald. On, like, the very last table, is there anyone that, like...
There are a few emerald pieces off to the side. The Genasi is still lightly holding your arm and guiding you down this path.
So there'd be no, like, conceivable way if he's holding me for me to just kind of, like...
Maybe.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, like, I guess what I'm asking is, I know it's obviously possible, but, like, is it, like, right next to a guy playing? Is the Genasi, like, have eyes on me, or is he looking far ahead?
He's looking forward, sort of guiding you down. You would it's not, like, right here. You'd have to reach out and grab it, but it's within arm. You wouldn't have to take a step. You could reach out and grab it.
I'm gonna look to the Genasi carrying me out and say,
Just holding your arm lightly.
Carrying me.
Or like, yeah. I'm gonna say to him, I need to see one of the emerald chess pieces if this is to be trusted at all. How do I know you're not lying to us and you're not taking me to my death?
Lying to you about what?
How do I know you're not taking me to my death, and how do I know you're taking me to my friend? I would like some collateral of my own by taking one of the emerald chess pieces.
Genies always keep their words.
Is that a motto you have amongst yourselves?
Not good enough for you?
How do I know you're not taking me to my death?
You don't, I suppose. Though you didn't know that I met the halfling and the woman. They exist, yes, you know this.
Take me.
He guides you up to the end of the door. They open the door. We'll go back to the other three.
What are you doing with him?
Trading him for the halfling.
What are you
Like
going?
I said,
What are you doing with her?
I don't know yet. It depends what she knows. I want my pieces back.
Yes, you've made that abundantly clear.
And he sort of snorts. Fire coming out.
We're going to wait until the halfling arrives.
And he sort of motions off to the side, and there's sort of a little flame breeze, kind of puff of smoke, and a door off to the side kind of clicks open, and he motions to it.
You will wait.
You will not harm this halfling, will you?
It depends
Depends on what.
what she knows.
If she doesn't know much, is that more in the direction of harm or away from the direction of harm?
Too many questions.
Sorry.
Go.
Orba goes into the room.
Walks.
I'm not moving.
And he gets up out of his chair.
Safira.
And he stands, and he's at least 8 feet tall, 9 feet tall.
I'm just gonna like look up at him. I'm not moving.
I'm gonna come back to you, Safira. This is not the time.
Listen to your friend. If the halfling arrives and you're dead, what good does that do her?
This is not the time.
And I'm just gonna kind of look at him and give like a very kind of deep, like sarcastic bow. And then like straighten myself up in kind of like a military way and like go to leave.
March. He turns around.
We really do wish to give no offense. And I'll walk.
And you walk towards the room. And you guys walk into the room. And there's a bit of a chilly air and sunshine. And you open your eyes. And there's a little bit of a creek running down this sort of sloped mountain. And there's a pleasant smell of the outdoors that you haven't smelled in a long, long time. And you look around you, and it's lush with green and plants, a number of small trees. And you look down, and you turn your hands over, and they're wrinkled. And you hold yourself, and your limbs feel sort of weak and heavy. And you sort of move your arms and your legs, and it feels like a great weight is on you. And you start to move, take a couple steps, and you're sort of moving along this hilly, mountainous area. And you hear sort of a little splashing noise. And you look to your right, and there's a man there, human man, and he's sort of in the middle of fishing, and he kind of casts his line. He sort of waits. What, eh? Didn't see you.
Where am I?
Calder asked. Don't know where you are.
Am I free?
I don't know who you are. It's free as far as I can say. Would you like a seat? Sort of motion things.
Yeah, all right.
And you sort of go to sit, and it's slow. You move slower than you expect, and you sort of sit down. Don't think I've ever seen anyone quite like you.
Yeah, no, I've heard that before.
You look quite distinguished in your old age.
Thank you.
You sort of just sort of bring the line back in, and the water is sort of gently trickling through. Did you ever fish when you were a younger man?
Not really. From a city.
I prefer it out in the country. There's more room to breathe.
That's what I always imagined, yeah. Do you have any food?
Sure, yeah. And so he puts the rod kind of in a little hole that he's dug next to the creek. And he picks out, he's got like a loaf of bread. He holds it up, he sort of breaks off a piece, and he's
Famished.
Where are you from, if you don't mind me asking?
Geordie.
That's a good one. Funny old man.
Yeah. Could you teach me how to fish?
Sure, yeah. And he sort of picks up the rod. If you want to join me for a while, it's usually pretty quiet out here. Don't mind a bit of company.
No, I wouldn't mind some company.
He hands you out the rod. And you take it, you feel it in your hands, and you sort of smile. And that's where we're going to end.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Oh my goodness!
Thank you everybody so much for joining us.
Thank you everybody! Thank you so much!
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
my God,
much. That was such an experience.
Holy shit.
Oh my
Good job.
god.
Way to jump
That
right
was
into that. It was great.
fantastic.
Geordie's also here. We know him through
Yes.
John. Talk to us a little bit about your show. He has a show that's opening.
Thank you.
You can look into that.
Yes, hello. Thank you very much. That was so much fun. That was the best thing. Okay, so yes, I have directed a play that is opening. We're in previews right now. If you're in New York City or near New York City, please come see it. It is called Round Table, and it's about people who LARP. And dive headlong into fantasy.
We don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Sounds weird.
It's about like how much we can get out of imagination and like caring about the things that we nerd out about, and it's a really, really beautiful, funny, beautiful play, and I hope you come see it. So if you wanna find out about it or get tickets, the thing to do is to go to www.faultline.org.
Faultlinetheater.org.
Faultlinetheater.org. Oh my god.
Already blew it.
www.faultlinetheater.org/round-table. Or just Google round table.
I was going to say, I googled it first thing that showed up. So
it's we run through October 20th. It's really great. So
We also might be putting up an Instagram if you
Yeah,
forget
I'll be
Yeah.
a blurb as well.
Follow us on
If you like this, you'll like that. Basically.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
That was
Excited to see it.
fantastic.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
And that wraps it up for the night. Next week, John will be out and we'll be back. So we'll be continuing the adventure
Bonkers.
thusly. And any other following notes? Was there anyone else that you wanted to say anything?
No, I think we're all set. Oh, Shades of Blue did bits, so thank you
great.
so much, Shades of Blue. Again, you're
And
crazy
Comrade.
cool. Love
And
you. And
Comrade.
Comrades Wordle did bits as well. Y'all are unbelievable. So thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
Have a good
See you
night.
next week.
Bye.